Hey!
Howdy.
According to everything, it looks like we're getting levels. Let me know if we look and sound okay. Gotta be honest, focused more on the media, the images, the photographs. Did do an audio test, going in blind. The couch is a little low. It's kind of nice. We're low riding today. It's nice.
Yeah.
We didn't put the couch all the way back up. And once I noticed that, and Ben was sitting on the couch, I was like, I'm digging the vibe in here. I'm digging the low vibe.
I think I prefer this.
This is the easy. Well, that's the thing. This room is like an Autobot. You know, like it fits all occasions. One size fits all stream. This stream is the Easy Eyes Community Showcase. Thank you, Ben, for being here today. Apologies for the schedule being a little nutty today, because a lot of people count on the showcase to get their creativity out to the world, and we have an extremely creative community. How this works is that community went to patreon.com/easyeyes for $10. We have lots of tiers, but the $10 and above tier, you don't have to stop at just 10. The sky's the limit. But if you are above, if you're at that 10 or above, you get to be involved. 1 million community showcases. You get to be involved in the showcase. The showcase is comments, which will be a lot of what you are about to see. Me talking about stuff our community's talking about, Ben responding. Community responding to that, Ben responding to the community, responding to that, me responding to Ben, responding to the community. And then we will look at some drawings, then some photographs, then an awesome screenshot GIF that's just going to loop for like an hour, and we're just going to look at it, of a really cool thing, of a project I'm really excited about.
When is the NFT segment of the community showcase?
I'm working it. We have to launch our crypto before then.
I see. Oh,
we can't really incorporate that. You brought it up.
Easy LA's coin is such a dumb idea that I'm ironically into it.
Donbucks.
Yeah, yeah. We should do that.
We have it. You're speaking of a thing that already exists. It's just a question of how you access it. I can't.
Yeah. Oh god, that'd be too good.
But I digress. We'll get to that. We're just getting started. Yeah. What is it? Couple minutes in. And music, thank you to Kevin Gillet and Kieran Little, those two specific artists who show up and are just like, showcase. And then when videos come, we're watching, a Return of the King director's cut length of videos for this showcase. I think it's like 20-something. It's a crazy amount of videos.
Holy cow.
It all balances out. Some months, something is bigger than the other. We're going to do that right at the end. Kudos to everybody that is at that tier, whether they submitted something or not. If you're like, that sounds cool, I want to go check it out, I'm going to keep it behind that paywall just for this stream, but if you watch this stream live when the stream is over, or if you're watching the VOD, I've already made it public. You can go to patreon.com/easyallies. There will be on the top a bunch of fun things. Cup of Jones, check it out. Spoiler modes. One of those is Community Showcase. If you click on that, they're all by month. So January 2022 and backwards through time, you can see all of the amazing things that our patrons... There's going to be a lot of dev updates and project updates. Those are constant. Alexander Zarianov is going to go through the entire cast of Apex Legends before the showcase runs its course. But we start off with lots of comments. Thanks to everybody for joining us. Get cozy. James Davey. Hi, Brandon and Ben.
Hello.
I want to get right down to it this month by explaining my feelings towards Far Cry 6. And have a discussion with Ben about seeing as he reviewed it, and we have conflicting views, which is always a tasty element for a debate. I will point to specific examples and probe Ben's review. Your review's going to get probed, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just like Cartman. So I can thoroughly display my stance. Ben can feel free to bat at each point if he disagrees, just to make this post flow well. After this, I intend to put my grievances to bed as softly as Juan's passing out after an alcoholic stupor. To save me from getting too verbose and breaking the rules, I'll present my gripes in list form, so here goes. Number 1, the word gorilla is used way too much. It's frankly annoying and obnoxious. It makes me want to saw my head off with a hacksaw. I love the Isla with the sound effect from Dragon Quest Builders. Mm-hmm. She was like, the sound effect. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she was like, the menu ping. I'm like, the what? And I went home that night, and it was like, bing, 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 bing. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a little jarring, but it's just fun. It's like, the way waves hit people's ears, all our ears are shaped differently. And so literally the same sound wave, doesn't travel through the same ear the same way. It's so funny.
It's funny that you bring that up, because Isla really hates in Mega Man when you, jump, and the screen scrolls. And it's just one of those things where it's like, I've played a shit ton of Mega Man, that's never bothered me. Yeah. And that's just not something that I would think to point out. Like
me telling Huber I quit Sekiro and I had to learn the Valkyrie counters, what?
Yeah.
What? Different strokes for different folks. Happenings at the beginnings of the game should yield an emotional response from Danny, but she reacts, or he, with a vengeful mindset instead of a compassion one. A terrible foible found in Assassin's Creed Unity and Valhalla most notably as well. Happenings at the beginning of the game should yield an emotional response, but she has a vengeful mindset instead of a compassionate one. I don't know. I like protagonists being pissed off.
Yeah, I mean, if you're under... The thing that I would counter with that is Danny is sort of under an authoritative regime, and she's also a soldier, right? So I think Danny has kind of been through the shit, and she certainly presents herself as a, like, I'm pissed, let's act. So I don't know that it bothers me here. I don't think Danny's just like a person off the street.
Number 3, Anton Castillo. This is very interesting. When Danny meets him, Anton inorganically speaks about something that has nothing to do with his presence, also manipulating tactics and being a corrupt leader, overdone tropes. Vaz, Pagan Min, and Joseph Seed are superior. I don't know, Joseph Seed's not superior to anything. And they've got inscrutable and mysterious qualities I don't think Anton has. Still a Pagan Min. And somebody said, Time is Zero in chat said that there's not enough game interaction. Pagan Min, mwah, so good. He calls you a lot. Like you'll just get a random phone call, and he's like, "How you doing?"
Yeah.
You know, and he was just very, I don't know, he's very Lex Luthor. I dug Pagan.
Not enough game interaction with the antagonist. I can agree with. It is a lot of, like, okay, you did a thing. Now watch the antagonist,
like
in
his
a
reality
cutscene.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a fair criticism. I like Castillo. I'm not gonna like die for him. I don't love him that much, but I think the performance there made him interesting, and I like the relationship with his son.
Number 4, Far Cry 6 is eerily similar to Just Cause 3 in terms of setting and the goal of overthrowing a Hispanic dictator. Sure, I'll give you that one. Just Cause 2 is still my fave. The music has nothing on Dan Romer's score from Far Cry 5, and in hindsight, I think Far Cry 5 is a much better game at drawing you in. The score from Far Cry 5 is really great, actually. I did not dig in to... I didn't review Far Cry 6, so I have not dug into that score that much. But they had all the songs that sounded like they were, like, authentic... like church choir, like, you know, gonna go up on that mountain, like that kind of stuff. But it was all about those specific like people in Far Cry 4, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Or Far Cry 5.
Yeah, I think it's going to be different strokes for different folks. Having played through all of Far Cry 5 and all of Far Cry 6, I strictly prefer Far Cry 6, and that comes down to the structure. I really don't like the structure in Far Cry 5, where it's like, okay, to progress the story, you have to grind it out and like reach this threshold, and then you can go and you can fight one of the people. Yeah,
it's clumsy.
It just got really annoying, and I think Far Cry 6 from a structural standpoint is a lot smoother that way. But there's a lot of similarities between those two games.
Number 6, superfluous dialogue in the mix of English and Spanish grates hard. Number 7, the haircuts are hideous. There's an old woman who looks like the Queen from A Bug's Life. I want to play the game now. I want to find this woman. To end this Far Cry discussion on a positive note, here's some things I enjoyed. You want some bad haircuts? Just Cause 4? Was that the last? Did they go to 5? Or was it 4? They ended it. 4 came out so soon after 3, but 3 took a while.
I think 4 was the last one.
Yeah. The hair and the beards, especially in 4, like, they still look bad. Here's some things I enjoyed. I like assaulting container ships and ridding them of rank and file. I reveled in the moments where Far Cry 6 lets its hair down and allows players to have some proper fun, and Chorizo is so cute. I'm appreciative of the Hispanic soundtrack for adding some cultural zing to the experience. Have either of you... All right, we're done with that. Are you ready for a curveball? Have either of you two watched any Malcolm in the Middle?
No, not really. Like, I've seen snippets here and there, but no, not really.
I've seen just the memes, and my favorite meme is like the golf cart in the pool.
That's basically what I've seen.
The golf cart in the pool. Have you ever seen like the whole family's just go like under the water?
No.
And I remember seeing that, and it's like, I mean, that's a stunt that they got like, what is that kid, 8? You know, like they got the whole family to go to submerge themselves in water, and it's like, I know they just dunked him and pulled him back out, but like, it's still a big heavy machine, and you know, I'm surprised. Every time I see that, I'm like, kudos to those actors. The dad on that show, he was good. To end this Far Cry discussion, okay. Do you have any favorite moments from the show? Not really. I'd also like to know why Ben isn't a fan of Puddle of Mud, as I recall Ben saying they were trash.
Puddle of Mud, I mean, to be fair, I haven't sat down and tried to listen to Puddle of Mud in a long time.
Today's the day.
A long time ago when they were first coming out and I was a kid, I enjoyed them. But there was this... I think it was this cover that Puddle of Mud was trying to do, and it kind of made the waves, and it went viral, and it was awful. Like, it was just god-awful singing. So, but yeah, not currently a fan, but I haven't really given them a chance in a long time.
Lastly, I just want to thank Jones for the unexpected shout-out during the deliberations, but no, I did not rip into Back 4 Blood. Perhaps Brandon K. Gann did. I don't know. I think it was Gann. I think it was on Brandon K. Gann's like list. Like, oh, I'm excited about that game, and it was just to month by month to like listen to his heartbreak in the showcase. Just like, like, why is it not the game I want it to be? Personally, I get my fists shaking for Ubisoft games because I know they're 1,000 times better than most of the games they've developed since the launch of the PS4, Xbox One. Thanks for all you do. Love and respect. From RF Switch. Greetings, Jones and Ben. I did say before that I would talk about my absurd, unbalanced degree of luck and why it makes me a terrifying goddess when it comes to arcades. But since my breakup, I needed to restore myself a bit, so I decided, what better way for me to do that than a hobby I share with Ben, cooking. This is a tough comment to go through because I think I skipped lunch? I'm not sure, I don't even remember. The following are some food items that I have made. If any of them strike your fancy, Ben or chat, let me know. I'll happily share the recipes with you. Number 1. RF's simple pan-fried chicken. Oh, I had this the other night. The man made a recipe nice. I made from scratch with some spices because I was bored. The secret is to wash the chicken in egg twice. Once before you put it in the flour mix a second time before you add breadcrumbs.
Joan, sorry to interrupt. This is supposed to be photographs, I think. That's what chat's saying.
It is? There are photos with this?
I'm just going with chat.
And it was no, it's RF saying it. RF would tell us if there are photos supposed to be.
Okay. Then I'll bring out the photos and do that later. Sorry, I missed that link. 2 comments in. Already blowing it. Yeah,
good.
RF will be the first image when we get to that.
We caught it early.
And let's all just think about RF simple pan-fried chicken before we get to it. From Alex AI. Hey, Ben and Jones. How are you today? Hopefully fine.
Great.
We are slowly getting into 2022, and I continue my never-ending journey through my backlog. In January, I managed to beat Tales of Arise.
Nice.
It is very visually impressive. It is a very visually impressive Tales game, and even though I think it has issues, it's definitely a step in the right direction for the Tales franchise. I'm now looking forward to the next title. How long do you think till that comes out? I don't know that about Tales, and do you think they're gonna like keep kicking ass now that Arise was like big budget, lots of eyeballs on it?
I feel like the general sentiment from people is pretty much what he described, where, like, you know, just listening to Damiani, that it's definitely a step in the right direction. So I would imagine they would follow suit. And I feel like Tales comes out, not like all the time, but at a pretty regular clip. And so I can't imagine it would be too long before the next Tales game. A couple of years.
After Robot Wars 30, Endwalker, SMT5, and now Tales of Arise, I was in need of something to cleanse my palate and be ready for some other big games like God of War or the new Pokemon. I'm really impressed how Ben sometimes has to go through multiple big RPG reviews while keeping his sanity. I would like to know his secret, if he has one. I myself usually either stop gaming for a while or switch to something like Picross.
Yeah, I don't know if there's really a secret to it. I feel like what helps with, like, the RPG reviews is I don't tend to do an RPG review unless I'm, like, really, really, really interested in it, and I super want to play it. And there's a lot of RPGs that I miss or only get to check out for a little bit. So it's nice. We're in the fortunate position where it's like if I commit to a long review, I usually want to play it. But sometimes, like, I was super looking forward to Dying Light 2. I couldn't wait to play that game, and I just did not like it nearly as much as I wanted to. And so, like, playing that game, like, I really felt the time. And that always sucks when that happens. That's when it's less fun to do the job, but just how it goes.
Yeah, when I review open world games, I'm reviewing Horizon right now, I can at least say that, but just like, I'm always reminded of the fact that if it's not a good open world game, then it's like, well, do I want to do everything, or should I just run to the end of this? Because Crackdown 3 was like, yeah, the whole side activity's over there, but I did those before. I think I'm good. Assassin's Creed games, though. Wrap those up. This time, January blessed me with the perfectly timed release of a little game called SNK vs. Capcom Card Fighters Clash on Switch. Imagine the Game Boy Color Pokemon card game, but you have even simpler rules. SNK and Capcom characters instead of Pokemon, and it's on Neo Geo Pocket. The matches are very quick and reward an aggressive playstyle. There is no balance. You simply gather stronger cards and make a stronger deck to fight stronger opponents. The story is sparse, yet there's some interesting exploration. The art is quite funny, and the characters feel nostalgic. The game is short and simply fun for people who grew up on those SNK and Capcom games. That's it for me. I wish all the allies a good February. Love and respect, Alex. P.S. If Ben happens to need a good palate cleanser after this February, I would recommend a little-known game called Shining Force 2. Such a colorful cast of characters and locations, and really easy to get into.
Yeah. I've not played Shining Force 2, but I've played a little bit of Shining Force 1.
Nice.
Back on it was a Dreamcast Sega Genesis compilation, and I really liked it. And I love as a kid anyway, I loved the Pokemon trading card game on Game Boy Color. So anytime you compare something to that, it's like, yes, cool.
Next Gen Half. Hey, allies. Today I want to talk about my most anticipated thing for February, the Royal Court expansion for Crusader Kings III. Last month, Jones mentioned he was surprised that the mods were not paid DLC. Well, here is what the first major paid DLC for the game actually does. 1. Adds 3D environments to this grand strategy game. If you rule a kingdom or an empire, you get your own royal court where you can see yourself, your counselors, family, items, and solve issues for your subjects. It's cool. 2. Minor titles have been added. Now you can appoint a food taster to die in your place if someone tries to poison you, or a court jester who can cheer you up if you are overburdened by the stress of running a kingdom or having too many lovers. Number 3, artifacts, the items, have been added. Every character, as well as your royal court, now has an RPG-esque gear slot system to equip artifacts. These are either real-world items already in the game, items your subjects have crafted for you by hand, or items you steal off of your enemies' rotting corpses. An artifact has a rarity that determines the strength of its effects and a durability that determines its lifespan. They can be repaired, or you can just sell it for scraps when you're done with it. Number 4, cultures, think civs, tech trees, have been completely reworked. They mainly function the same as before, determining cosmetic appearances of stuff in your realm and showing what tech you have unlocked and can progress towards. But now, you can diverge your culture or merge 2 different cultures in your realm. If you diverge, you'll be able to edit some of the one-of-a-kind features of your culture. If you merge, you'll be able to choose what you like about the 2 different cultures and to keep and make your own new version of those cultures. All these new features will be completely moddable as well. This will further enhance and diversify the mods people, their ability to offer and create. You would now be able to sit on the Iron Throne from Game of Thrones or wield the One Ring as you conquer Mordor. This DLC will delay a lot of mods as the modders work to make them compatible. But once they release, modded CK3 will probably be the best strategy game for some of these big IPs. Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Avatar The Last Airbender, Elder Scrolls, Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is funny because I think the original Three Houses is probably the better strategy game. Vampire the Masquerade, and many other historical original IPs. You can just play Three Houses in a different way.
Well, I think part of the appeal of Three Houses is that it's very easy to get into.
Right.
And like I checked out Crusader Kings 3 like right when it came out, just because everybody had always talked about Crusader Kings, and like even just dipping my toe into it, I was like, this is really fucking cool. And it's like anytime somebody says Crusader Kings 3, it's like, I really would love to dive into that.
It's neat to think of last year was the Forza Horizon year. It was the year where I just finally buckled.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
so it's like, it's neat to see stuff like Tales of Arise and Shin Megami Tensei, my first Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah.
Where some franchises are just like, you have no more excuses.
Yep.
Cannot wait for this release and dive back into the medieval world and look forward to new stories in the next showcase. Have a great February, next gen half. To be these modders and just on that day it drops to be like, here we go. You know, get all your Mountain Dew. Sorry, honey. Brandon K. Gann. In mid-October, I had trouble sleeping, so I took on challenges that intimidated me for over 15 years. Super bosses and endgame in Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. In the first, Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, I beat Xemnas in 2 tries and conquered Sephiroth in 1. In Kingdom Hearts 2, FM, I beat Sephiroth with only 4 tries with patience and attacking what he says, Heartless Angel. I finally exercised a 15-year-long Demon Angel. Also completed every Mushroom 13 minigame. Anyone who has tried these knows how maddening it is. I even defeated all but 3 of the data versions of Organization 13, Xemnas, Demyx, and Luxord. The hardest boss, Lingering Will, is susceptible to something called the Fenrir strategy, but I just can't get the timing right. Went to my master save of Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age, at the end of November, and I'm ecstatic. I now have 100% completed the main game, finding every rare enemy area, all espers, defeating super bosses, most notably Hellworm, Omega Mark 12, and spent 2.5 hours in one attempt defeating Yasmat. 2.5 hours in one attempt. Not selling it. Although I love 12, and I've talked to people who have beaten 12 and have seen the ending of 12, but I never finished it myself. 50 million HP. That Yasmat. Final 5 health bars give him super speed and exponential insta-KO attacks. Never again! Having all these firsts for me, I went on another and tried Quake, or rather the remastered version, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Now Doom, Quake, and Wolfenstein 3D all sit within my top 50 games of all time. That id makes great games. And in 2021, ended with game awards. Read that on Twitter. Read that on Twitter? Game adverts, awards. Positive positives. Sorry, Khalif Adams being recognized. Final Fantasy VII Remake goes to PC. And Evil West, Hellblade 2, Horizon Forbidden West, Alan Wake 2, Somerville, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and A Plague Tale Requiem had evocative trailers. But by far the best and most unique segment belongs to Cuphead: The Delicious Last Course. We did it. We picked the right one. As for awards, I'm happy to see Kana win both indie categories, but the show is way too long, bloated with many ads promoting ongoing sales or events, especially in the back half. Time dedicated to this and celebrities doing cringy bits more than developers speaking on their games is grating. Be more selective of world premieres, institute a 2-hour cap, including the pre-show, and awards. Otherwise, call this something else. Also bummed Ratchet & Clank got Horizoned without one win, and something that was 98% awesome to become 100% not so, Star Wars Eclipse. Finally got a new job starting January 10th, so gaming time is severely diminished compared to my previous gig, but I'm in the best situation I've been in since 2017, and incredibly enough, I qualified for a raffle at my apartment complex for signing a lease, and won the grand prize for the first time ever. I own a Switch. Smash,
Nice.
Kart, Mario Maker 2, Octopath, Unpacking, Shovel Knight, Treasure Trove are on the short list. No, I am not interested in Odyssey or Breath of the Wild. Totally unnecessary shots fired. Okay. Shoulder Guy. Hello, Jones and Ben. Reporting once again from the EZA forums. We recently completed another EZA community GOTY election. This time for the year 2006. As a reminder, the rules are for every participant to send their top 4 games of the year, which receive points according to their ranking, with 4 optional honorable mentions worth 1 point each. Before I reveal the top 20, here are a few games that almost made the list. Daxter, for the PSP. Half-Life 2 Episode 1. Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, and Tomb Raider Legend. And here's the top 20. What are your personal GOTYs from 2006? Love, respect, shoulder guy. You got any?
2006 and 2007 are kind of blending in my mind, so I'm struggling to remember what came out in 2006. I'll have to hear the list.
Some good ones. The number 2 on this list. Thank you. It's wrong, but thank you very much for number 2. I really appreciate it. That is not correct.
Half-Life 2 Episode 1 is just nowhere near as good as Episode 2. Like, it's good, but in comparison to Episode 2, I feel like Episode 2 is just much better.
It's funny when you think of a year and a game just immediately comes to your brain. That game is number 15 on this list. Number 20, Xenosaga Episode 3 with 5 points. Number 19, Dead Rising, the first Dead Rising. So good, 6 points. Number 18, Killzone Liberation, which I think was on PSP as well, 6 points. Number 17, The Godfather.
Killzone Liberation was 2006.
Shout out, 6 points. Number 16, Sweet Code and 5 with 6 points. Number 15, Guitar Hero 2 at 7 points. The game I always think about when
Guitar
I
Hero
think about
2
2006.
is
We were in the zeitgeist, man. We were in the middle of it, man. Guitar Hero 2.
Guitar Hero 2 was like the zenith. Yeah. Guitar Hero 2 and 3.
Yeah, Rock Band was great, but 2
Yeah.
was... We were shaking people asking if they played that.
I was so pissed because I had Guitar Hero 2 for PS2, but then they came out with the 360 version, which I didn't have, and it had an Iron Maiden song. I think it was The Trooper, and I was upset.
Number 14, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, 7 points.
Nice.
Number 13, Dreamfall: The Longest Journey, a game I know so much about but never played, 9 points. Number 12, Wii Sports, with 12 points. 12.
Wii Sports. What a game of its era.
Yeah. Number 11, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas, with 12 points. I remember the mayor of Vegas was pissed. The mayor of Vegas was like, "We don't allow no terrorists in Vegas." It's like, it's a game. What are you talking about? What?
We just allow everything else in Vegas.
When Die Hard
Just
came
no
out,
terrorists.
the mayor of LA wasn't like, "Hey,
Yeah.
hey."
Yeah.
What says John McClane business? It's like, what? It's Die Hard's a legend in this town. Like, wait, what? That's my job as mayor. Stop these video games from taking place. Stop people talking about my city. Number 10, for Resistance, Fall of Man, the first one, 12 points. Didn't play it because it didn't have rumble on the controller, and that felt so weird.
I didn't have a PS3 at that point.
Number 9, Final Fantasy 12, which I think should be a tad higher. Number 8, Hitman Blood Money, with 13 points. Time 12.
Oh, I love Hitman Blood Money. Hitman Blood Money was like the first Hitman I really got into, and so I have a lot. I didn't play it in 2006, but I like that game a lot.
Number 7, Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories. Gotcha. 14 points. Number 7. Wow, it's Vice City Stories is my least favorite protagonist. They ran out of ideas when they gave that guy dialogue. He was like, "I don't want to do this mission. All right, I'll do it." It was that for 30 hours. Number 6, Kingdom Hearts 2. 14 points. So yeah, number 6 to 1. Some good games.
Kingdom Hearts 2 is... I have a lot of fond memories of Kingdom Hearts 2.
Number 5, Okami, with 19 points. Number 4, which should probably be number 1 on this list, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, with 21 points.
Twilight Princess is pretty damn good.
It's a pretty good game. Edging out Gears of War, number 3, which also is really good and is better than the game at number 2.
The thing that I would say about Twilight Princess is for as good as it is, the beginning is just so slow.
Number 2, Bully. Sure. Yeah. Yes. No. Kingdom Hearts 2 is better than Bully. Twilight Princess is better than Bully. Gears of War is better than Bully. Hitman Blood Money is better than Bully. Final Fantasy 12 is so much better than Bully. It's not even fun. But Bully's one of my favorite games, so I can, hey. And number 1, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion with a whopping 42 points. Bully had 23, second highest, and Oblivion's, forget about it.
I just spent so much time fucking around in Oblivion.
When you do the point thing like this, I think Oblivion wins hands down. Because everyone's like, I'll put some points in Oblivion. Everyone does it, you know? This is how Hall of Greats works. You know? It's like, wait, but Oblivion's not one of the great... Like, everybody voted, you know?
Man,
it's fun.
Oblivion is a game that pulls hard at my nostalgia. Like, I didn't even bother finishing the main quest in Oblivion. I just had so much fun just running around like crazy. It was a 360 game that I loved. I didn't have a computer to run it at the time.
Cameron B. Oblivion was the game that went from the big bulky TV to the HD TV. Oblivion was the first game on my Xbox 360 that I plugged in, and when the music hit, I was like, yes.
Man, you
God,
remember...
that was a heavy television. Oh my goodness.
You remember the dialogue, like the persuasion system in Oblivion, where it was like the orange wedges?
Oh yeah.
And it was so dumb.
Yeah, RF switch art, every Oblivion gate, every single one. I mean, I did. I was like, I had a guide, and I was just checking out caves, and then I got to a point where I'm like, what am I doing? I beat the game. What am I doing? You know, all these caves look the same. What am I doing? That world. Cameron B. Hello there. Very long time watcher, but very rarely comment or get in Twitch chat. First things first, I feel the need to mention that the Goaty deliberation was very thorough and great to listen to. A good man. Thorough. I am looking forward to playing the winner. When you said Goaty deliberations, I did get nervous, I'll be honest. I'm looking forward to playing the winner when I clear some of my backlog and buy it. I'm learning to play more of it when I get better at it. I have a sort of unusual question I've thought about. Sorry, what?
Oh, I was just going to say, Goaty deliberation is one of those things where, like, I know that we take it so seriously when we put so much heart into it. I think every ally does. And that's one of those things that gets over, and it's like, no matter what, everyone's going to hate this. Like, they're going to be annoyed at something.
We're all like, because there's only one bathroom here, so we're all pacing back and forth in the hallway after Goaty's, just waiting to use the bathroom, just looking at each other like, how'd that go? That felt okay, right?
Yeah.
I have a sort of unusual question I've thought about in general from time to time. Again, Cameron B. Do you think at all easy allies, of course you two can't speak for the others, just watch us, but still, ever consider that you're leaving behind a permanent legacy on the internet at large, and specifically games media? I'm counting on it. There are going to be people like me that remember Easy Allies for years to come, and people that stumble across your reviews from 4+ years ago, old videos only tomorrow. That especially Blood loves talking about, just videos that we didn't put any, you know, or just one of our reviews. If for some reason just that link just found someone somewhere and they put it on some page, and it's like the millions. Is that unnerving, exciting, humbling, some other emotion? I enjoy myself and the thought of publishing a book that could potentially be found 10 years from now, or that someone reads and remembers way later in life is a very interesting thought. I had a very emotional experience because 2014 was a really rough year for me. That was a year like before we transitioned to Defy Media, and I didn't know what was going to happen to game trailers for like the whole year, and so I was just like, And I read a book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all small stuff. It's the name of the book. I was like, this guy's cool. And I like read the thing in the back, and it's like, this guy lives in blah, blah, blah with his family. And I'm like, neat, what's he doing now? And the internet's like, he died. I'm like, oh. This guy seems super chill, and like all the things he just taught me really helped him. I hope he was okay for the rest of it. You know, it was like, whoa, that was weird. It's strange finding that book, you know, having it not be like fiction, but it's like, no, I got some life lessons from somebody who had passed by the time I found the book. Unrelated side topic, I'm currently playing Final Fantasy IX for the first time ever. And my goodness, it's so good.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I have a feeling this will become one of my top 3 Final Fantasy games. I've played everything 8 and beyond, and I'm now working my way backwards. I mean, you have to think that somebody that started Final Fantasy IX is like, hey, this is fun. I mean, it's not gonna get worse. That game, yeah, level up those characters, have a good time. There's lots of really cool, crazy stuff in that game.
Final Fantasy IX is always one of those games where like I'm terrified to tell anybody to play it because it's like, okay, this means a lot to me.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not sure it's gonna mean a lot to you.
Right.
All these years later, but that's awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah. What's your favorite Final Fantasy? 6. Oh, I didn't like that one. It's cool. Different strokes. Joseph Caruso. Even though I played God of War when it released in 2018 and almost completed another playthrough on PS5 last year, hearing Ben talk about the PC version makes me want to buy and replay it.
Sorry, which game?
God of War!
Yeah.
Right now.
Yes.
There's so much else for me to play and so much on the horizon, pun not intended, but I can't help it. I want to see this game running on my graphics card at 4K over 60 FPS, which should be very doable with the magic of NVIDIA DLSS, and Ben perfectly described just how good of a game it is. Speaking of God of War, I have an anecdote regarding mythological creatures that I feel I must share as often as possible. About 10 years ago, a coworker and I discovered Akinator, Akinator, a website that can guess any person you're thinking of, real or fake, just by asking some questions. We were blown away by how fast and thorough it was. It correctly guessed the baby from Breaking Bad in just 8 questions. So we went.
I think I've seen this.
This is
thing.
crazy.
Is
I
this
only
the
like
like genie guy?
This is a group stream. We should do this at EasyX. So we went to another coworker in her office and told her to try it. We were walking through the website and she announced that she's thinking of Medusa. The very first question was if your character was real or fictional. She immediately asks, "Real, right?"
Oh.
My coworker and I looked at each other for a second while our brains turned back on. I ask, "What'd you mean when you thought of Medusa?" She responds, "Snake hair lady. You know, turning people into stone by looking at them. That's not real." "No, that's not real." "Huh?" She responds. "I thought it used to be real." "Okay." Kept my composure in the moment, but I still haven't fully recovered from the level of restraint I deployed. This anecdote gets funnier every time I think about it, especially her saying, "That used to be real." I know it's hard to believe, but I can assure you she wasn't trolling. There wasn't even a shred of sarcasm in her voice. I hope she was trolling. I hope she was playing Caruso and Friends. But that's really it. Yeah, it's it's funny because I think we spend so much time as kids exploring and talking about the fantastical and the impossible that like some of that dust gets left behind in our brain that we know it's of course, but it's like we don't wait. Like I just never stop to think about it. Whew. That is funny though. The only thing funnier than that story, though, Joseph, is her at lunch the next day being like, "Okay, so these idiots came up to me at work and showed me this website." And I immediately thought of that Medusa. You remember that thing your 3-year-old cousin said about Medusa? Well, I told that to my coworker and they thought it was funny. Samo Rosman also submitted one picture, so we will be returning to Samo just like RF Switch. But gave us a comment that I felt was big enough to talk about in comments. Why does Samo Rosman get special treatment? Because he gives us pictures of Legos. What? Also, Aloha, Brandon and Ben. For this month, it's a bit of the same. First off, I would like to go through my goaties. I don't have any of the next-gen consoles, so I've been playing mostly on PC. Best reason I'm pissed off that I don't have a Switch and had to wait almost a year to play it? Monster Hunter Rise. Best multiplayer experience? Sorry, PvP is generally kind of trash right now. It Takes Two. Best nostalgia trip? Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Best early introduction to a character so I don't have to wait years until Part 2? Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. Best game I really need to start playing? Psychonauts 2. Best 7 I really need to get back and finish? Outriders. Best game that's sucking up a lot of my time because we actually get ladder rune words now in normal play? Diablo 2 Resurrected. Best surprise because it's actually really good? Guardians of the Galaxy. Best MMO that I stopped playing a few expansions ago that is tempting me back like I'm a sailor off Whitecap Bay? Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Best... Wait, why am I emotional game? Unpacking. Also, about... Yeah, like, I would, like, Amanda would come in, my eyes be red. And she's like, "What just happened?" I'm like, I can't tell you. Like, it would take 10 minutes. Also, how about all that Star Wars game news from this week? 3 new Respawn games. And that 1313 gameplay footage. Yeah, I saw that. I thought that was like a PS2 game or something. I didn't click on it. I didn't know that was... It's like the stupid internet. When I saw it, it was like some Boba Fett game. It's not some Boba... It's 1313. It didn't say that in the headline. Wherever that was, they failed. Still salty that it was canceled. It looked promising. Also, Legend of Vox Machina is a great time. Makes me wish for more tabletop escapades. Oof. shots. As always, mahalo nui loa for everything you do. Love, respect, Samuel Rosman. Have you seen Vox Machina?
No. Somebody, I really don't even know what it is, but somebody mentioned to it. Somebody mentioned it during the last stream. I was on Stream Team or something. I don't remember.
It's like the Critical Role story told over with anime.
Nice.
It's like they're doing the thing.
Oh, cool.
And so it's like it's a cool story, but like the two things, like Amanda watched an episode and she's like, I love them. She's like, it's they're great. She's like, but there's two things I couldn't stuck out as far as like fantasy is concerned. One, it's clearly a bunch of goofballs playing characters they created. Two, it's like, which is weird, but it's clearly them like F-bombs like all the time, like in a fantasy thing, just slinging right and left.
It's weird
Not
because
not bad, just a little different. Takes a little while to get used.
I enjoy D&D and I enjoy the systems of D&D. I have zero interest in watching other people play D&D.
I have not seen it. Take that up with Amanda. Chat, Dan Berlin. Hello, Jones, Ben, and fellow allies. First time, long time. I just like to quickly say that despite being someone who is more passive in the community, I really love what Easy Allies does and the love and respect ethos. It's very easy to be a cynic or a hater, let's be honest, and the fact that you all put those good vibes out there into the universe makes me want to do the same. Which makes me get to my main point. Hearing Ben talk about getting into comics on the 2022 prediction stream got me so pumped, and I simply had to reach out. In 2021, I took my comics love to the next level and began writing for a website called AIPTcomics.com. AIPTcomics, regular spelling.com. It's a fun and creative hobby that I do in my free time, getting at all my thoughts and feelings regarding comics that would normally go unshared. My friends love video games, the MCU films, and other geeky things, but comics aren't really for them. Finding an outlet for that creative energy over the last year has been wonderful, and I'm so proud of the work I put in. Shout out to my buddy Kelly Powers. Every time he comes up to me, did you read this? I'm like, Kelly, you know I didn't. It's like, oh, it's a good line. I liked it. I'm like, I want to read it. I'll sign up at some point, get a tablet. Somebody stole my tablet like a decade ago.
I just want to say really quick, I don't think, because I have not vocalized it, but I've gone off the deep end with comic books. I go to my local comic shop every week now, and I buy at least 4 issues. And last night, I read 8 issues of comic books. I'm just reading all of these different Marvel and DC series. It's kind of been my current passion. I've really loved it. Yeah. And there's a lot of good stuff out there. I wouldn't say everything I've read has been amazing, but there's been a ton of great things. So.
Finding an outlet for that creative energy over the last year has been wonderful, and I'm proud of the work I put in. I'm not sure how folks feel about sharing writing articles in the community showcase, so here's some of my personal highlights that I want to share with you all. If you want to submit that again for the word count, you can submit something you wrote, and I will read it. But there are a lot of links. Again, patreon.com/easyallies. You can go check all of this stuff.
Wait, sorry.
No worries.
Somebody wanted to know what's on my poll list right now, and I actually made a Google Doc, comic book shopping list. And so for this week, tomorrow I'm gonna get Suicide Squad Blaze #1, and then on Wednesday I'm gonna get Hawkeye Kate Bishop #4, Devil's Reign #4, and X Deaths of Wolverine #2. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Sorry for the interruption.
No, I love that. That's why we're here. So these are all the articles that Dan Berlin listed. #1, getting a pull quote on the back of a comic.
Oh.
A quote from my review of Magic #1 is on the back of the first trade paperback. I also got to interview the creative team, writer Jed McKay and artist Igara, on bringing the world of MTG to life. #2, getting to write about comics culture. Writer James Tinian IV said on his blog last year that comics lost, quote, an entire generation of readers to manga and video games. Yeah, manga.
No, I've heard that a lot too, that manga is just completely eating comic books lunch.
So in this multi-part series, I've been trying to figure out how to bring that generation back to comics. For this piece, I chatted with fellow ally Jesse Vitelli, editor of Prima Games, to learn how Final Fantasy XIV's community supports new and returning players, and how that could apply to the comics community. I'm currently working on the finale of the, quote, Lost Generation series, featuring an interview with James Tinian IV that I'm super proud of. And #3, getting to write about non-comics things and collaborating with other writers. In AIPT's end-of-the-year wrap-ups, I wrote about my experience playing Forza Horizon 5 on xCloud with a DualSense, how Amazing Spider-Man's Beyond story is great for lapsed fans, and how Succession is the best show on TV right now. Thanks for all for taking the time to read this. Love and respect, Dan Berlin.
Congratulations, Dan.
It's tricky, too, because I know we've had comments, just go back 2 or 3 showcases, and people are like, I'm writing about games, but I'm not really getting traction. I have a YouTube channel, and I'm not getting a lot of views, and so it's nice, when we hear people in our community checking, connecting with other writers, or hey, I have this skill if you have that skill. How are things going for you? Level Capybara. Hello, Brandon, and hello to the Q&A MC himself, Ben Moore. May both of your Februarys be fab and merry. Ben, I've got a story to tell you, and it's all about No More Heroes 3.
Cool.
In last December showcase, I credited your enthusiasm for the game as the motivator that finally got me to give it a go. Well, now that you're on the showcase, I'd feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't gush about No More Heroes 3 once more. Once upon a time, I thought No More Heroes, quote, wasn't my thing, whatever that means. So when No More Heroes 3 first got announced, I wasn't sure if I'd ever touch it. Don't get me wrong, every successive trailer made the game look cooler and cooler, but I just knew it wouldn't be my thing, since I missed my chance to play the prequels. Then the prequels got fresh Switch ports, but they weren't my thing, so I figured I'd just pass on picking them up. Then I finally relented and picked them up on sale, but they weren't my thing, so I wasn't in any rush to get them off the backlog. But Ben, over the course of various podcasts and ultimately a tantalizing review, your infectious enthusiasm... Who got that review? Your infectious enthusiasm for the series finally wore down. I did! Because when we talked about Foo for Goaties, I was like, I really backed you up. I was like, dude, there are cutscenes that aren't in the review that are really, really great.
Sir Lar, thanks for the raid.
Yeah, ooh. Sir Lar? Are they Solarians? The Solarians approach.
That's
Sir
a good
Lar,
name
thanks so
for
much.
a community.
Sir Lar.
Yeah, No More Heroes 3 is one of those games that I think is, like, hard to sell. Like, I would not... In a weird way, it's like I don't think you get the magic of that game until you're kind of in it.
Right.
It's hard to get at a glance. It's just very weird.
I started to wonder, what if I sat down one night and gave No More Heroes a fair shake of the Joy-Con? Could it, in fact, be my thing? And boy, was it! The combat was so catchy, and the satire so wild that I breezed through the first two games before I knew it. And the third game blew me away. It may not have been a universal GOTY contender, and it was definitely my... It may have not been a universal GOTY contender. It was definitely my personal GOTY of 2021. So No More Heroes turned out to be my thing after all. Now I wake up every day wishing that I had the confidence of a man who can run around town with a laser sword and a pair of aviators, proudly proclaiming things like raspberry chocolate sundae along the way.
Yep.
And I've got your unabashed praise of the game to thank for that. Even just some of the subtitles and some of the cutscenes we were watching during GOTY deliberation was just making me laugh. I'm like, that's just it's a funny attitude for a character to have. Hopefully,
It's hard to do the kind of humor No More Heroes does and not be annoying. And it's super not. Like, it has some teeth to it in a way that is genuinely very, very, very funny.
In closing, thanks for talking about games you love and sharing why you love them. Hopefully it helps to know that your recommendations really do get taken to heart. And Ben, if anyone ever tells you... Bully number 2, clearly. If anyone ever tells you that there are no More Heroes 3 fans in the world, you just tell them, oh, but there totally are. You'll know where to find this. We'll be the ones suplexing gators in the sewer and triumphantly shouting, wee! Keep it Mo, allies. Love, respect, love, capybara.
It's the Suda51 curse where I feel like for all of his games, there are people that just love them dearly, and they're small, they're fierce, but small audiences.
P.S. In turn, I'd give an equally hearty recommendation to the Root Factory series. I can't promise it'll be your thing, but you never know.
We're looking forward to Root
Isn't
Factory
that
5.
just... Isn't 5 just going to be on PC or something like that?
No, it's going to be on Switch. It might also be coming to PC, but it's definitely coming to Switch.
I think I'm going to play that dumb game.
Brandon, I think you would... I don't
think
know
I
how
would
much...
like it, right?
I really think you would like it. I don't know how much you would like the waifu stuff, but beyond that, I think you would really like it, yeah.
Well, only one way to find out. You
In
know
the
what I mean?
little time that
You know
I've
what I mean?
spent with it,
you know
I
what I
think you
mean?
would like it.
There's only one way to find out if I'll like the waifus, and that's to spend some time with some waifus. Sage Mode Q. Greetings, Brandon and Ben. Just thought I would bring my personal picks, my top 10 games that I played last year in the showcase, and say something about each of them. To clarify, these are only going to be games that I finished. So something like Metroid Bread. Metroid
Bread, man.
It's good Metroid Bread. Metroid Dread and SMT5 won't be on here as I'm still playing them, so here we go. Didn't you take the Switch copy and you put it through a piece of bread?
Remember when the Switch first came out and people were licking Switch carts? And that was a dumb thing that people were doing?
It's true. We all stopped doing that, right? Number 10, Call of Duty Vanguard and Warzone. I know Call of Duty, well, I thought it was only right to stick it on the list because it was a game I put the most hours into. 345, that's how much my buddies and I played last year. Every Friday in 2021 is like clockwork. I love that. That's how it works. That's how they make the money. Number 9, Halo Infinite. Similarly to COD, me and my buds have put in over 45 hours since its multiplayer release. Best Halo campaign in a long time. I think the best I've ever seen Master Chief. Shout out to the pilot. Number 8, Lost Judgment. In a game with so many great characters, I'm actually a little disappointed. Nobody from it even got a mention in Easy as Goaty for best character. I think we cut him early on, but yeah, I put in 2 or 3 hours to prep, but character's tough. It's tough to know what game to play. I guess it can happen when it's a long game. Not a lot of the allies finish it, so I understand. Jin Kuan is one of the best new characters to be introduced into the Yakuza Judgment series in a long time. A very fascinating character. All in all, they took everything about Judgment and made it better. Not to mention the fact that 65% of the game takes place in high school. Makes you feel like you're in an actual slice of life anime. I mean, come on. I know Ben's feeling me. Number 7, Far Cry 6. Like you, Mr. Jones, I love open world games, and the Far Cry series is my guilty pleasure. Just pure, unadulterated open world, mind-numbing fun. The DLC has been great too.
That is exactly how I feel about Far Cry 6.
FC4 is still the best. I agree. Haven't played 2. When I talk to like long-time Far Cry fans, and I think I played 1 on like the Xbox when it like ported for PC.
I've played some 2.
Some people are like, I remember just the Spear review 2. I was like, yeah. Like I remember just some people that they're like, 2's a very special shooter.
I feel like 2 is cool, and I played it. I checked it out because people had kind of hyped it up so much, and it didn't quite meet that level for me. But yeah, it was neat.
I read your review and then like deleted Far Cry 6 because it was right before the holidays, and I knew it's like this is not going to be something I'm going to play for Goaty. So
yeah,
buy Far Cry 6. Maybe I'll play next year. Number 6, Returnal. All I heard before picking it up was how hard it was, but for some odd reason, I never really struggled that much. Maybe a boss fight took me a couple tries. But other than that, it was pretty smooth sailing. I'm personally somebody who's never beat a Souls game because it just can't hack it. But that was to the game's benefit, seeing how I was able to finish it and loved it. Fun fact, Celine, the main character, is Diana Burnwood from the new Hitman trilogy. Nice.
Returnal's difficulty is so weird, where like it feels like a brick wall until it just isn't, and you're like, yeah, this is not that hard.
That was snowboarding for me. Like when snowboarding just clicked, it was like, what just happened? I can't even tell you what just happened.
Yeah, you definitely take a turn.
Number 5, Ratchet & Clank. Best arsenal in the series, and the story actually gets surprisingly deep. Rivet spinoff is for sure coming next. Great game. Number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy. Feel good hit of the year, huh? Who saw this one coming out? Who saw this one coming out and being this good? It's all about the cast, and as much as you see some elements of the movie Guardians come through, I think Eidos Montreal did a great job of giving the game Guardians their own identity. Drax, that's it. I just rewatched Guardians on the on Disney Plus when I was just like cutting the podcast or something. I just like had it on the background and I'll like turn up the volume every now and then. That game cast is like they are completely their own. They're totally own thing. Like that whole boy are those different Star Lords. Those are 2 completely different people. You know, they did it. Number 3, Forza Horizon 5. A perfect game? I asked Blood if he thought it was the best racing game ever, and he chuckled and said no. Blood chuckled and said no? I wonder what he considers the best racing game ever. He will never tell you.
Blood does not take those questions lightly.
Someone ask him for me, please. It's not going to work out the way you want it to. You're not going to get an answer. Number 2, Resident Evil Village. Probably the most fun I had playing a game this year. You know, for all I've said about Village, it's maybe Forza's like just edges it out, but like that game was fun the whole time. The week already came out. There was nothing else in my life. I just want people to give Ethan Winters his damn respect. Feels like every other Artie protagonist gets a pass for their cheesiness. Not in my book. Never. None of them get a pass. Not Wesker. Not Chris Redfield. No one. But he gets shit on for it. I'm shitting on it. I'm shitting on the entire cast. Even Barry Burton. All of them. And I love that series. If that's what it takes. Name a more personal Ari story.
More personal Ari story.
Two. I think 2 goes more interesting places than Village. Boom. That's just my take. And not because I think Sherry's parents are kind of nutballs, but boy, Sherry has a tough week. You know that, like, her parents are gone, and like they're not, you know, where's Dad? Like knowing what she went through is that's rough.
I mean, we talk about this, I feel like, on the spoiler mode or something, but the problem that I have with Village's lore is I think there's interesting stuff in there, but you at the very end of the game, you just literally have a lore room where you go in and you read about everybody, and it's almost like you're like pulling up the Wikipedia article in the game, and it's just, I think there's good stuff there. I just wish they could have kneaded that into the story a little bit better.
forgetting the images. I'm talking ill of Critical Role. Now I'm dumping on Leon S. Kennedy.
No, Village is
We're gonna
great.
lose
Don't
RF
get me
as a
wrong.
patron before the
Village is
showcase
awesome.
done. RE4 remake announcement this year. I'd buy it.
Yeah, I mean, there's yeah.
The iron is so hot, and Capcom loves to strike it. Sometimes a little before they should. Cancel RE-verse. Get that announcement out.
Yeah, that game is so funny. It's gone radio silent and no one cares. You know.
Name a more personal. Just a man trying to save his daughter. Also love Heisenberg, another overhated character.
I'm with you.
RE4
I
remake
like
announcement this year.
Heisenberg probably more than any other ally.
Number 1, Hitman 3. If you know me, you know that I champion Hitman 3 all 2021. Love the first 2 entries, and the third is just the best of all 3 games wrapped into one goaty package. Hitman 3 is a world design masterclass. Oh man, I love Deliberations, where I was like, I don't know, you know, maybe we could, because it's scary to even suggest something can be taken off a nominee list when we're picking that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I just floated the idea of Hitman 3. You know, I was like, maybe Hitman 3 for world design, and Brad gave me a look.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, sorry, never mind. It's also a master at mixing the serious with the silly in a way that I don't think anybody else is actually doing. I'm not even sure how this blends so well together. Hitman 3 was the best game that I played in 2021, and I can't wait for the DLC and Iowa's Bond game. That Bond game is going to be... I'm more excited for the Bond game than anything the Bond
It sounded
film
like you
series is
said
doing.
Iowa's Bond game, and I was
That's
like...
a different Bond game.
Yeah. Bond, like, sneaking through cornfields, man.
There's a bright... Thanks for reading through all this madness, Jones. Thanks for listening, Ben. Here's to 2022. Cheers. Cheers. Kikator. Hi, Brandon. Konnichiwa, Ben. Longtime viewer, first-time patron. Now that I'm in a good place, I can support the crew that continues to lift my spirits through some dark times. You've even inspired me to make my own videos. Since I'm new to being a vocal fan, what kind of videos do you accept for the showcases? It's just something that we can show, something that you made. So if you want to use like YouTube safe music or no music, you know, you'll see like a lot of people will just submit stuff from like Majora's Mask or something they know is like it's not gonna flag Twitch if Twitch were to hear it. But like, you know, the soundtrack to Final Fantasy Advent Children probably will. Somebody's gonna ask us about that. But then really anything. I mean, check out our video sections coming up. It's a bit fast and loose, then if it's a bit fast and loose, I'd love to get really creative with it. Sure, just make sure you like own the stuff again. And like, you know, no boobies, no swear words. Not too many swear words.
Not too many boobies.
Not too many boobies. Maybe a couple boobies.
Maybe a couple.
And by a couple boobies, I mean 4. That's a couple boobies. Thanks, okay. Also, Ben, what's your hype level for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak at the moment?
Super high. I'm just in a weird position where, like, right now, this month, I'm slammed with games. And in the back of my mind, it's like, I need to get caught up on Rise on PC. And so, like, I'm really looking forward to Sunbreak, but I also am feeling anxious trying to find time to put more into Monster Hunter Rise PC.
Mishimagius, the Unusuals definitely pushes the limit on swear words, and it's good.
I do not want to play Sunbreak on Switch.
It's the Mishimagius. Yeah, well, I mean, that'll be nice. Is it coming out on both same time?
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't it? Yeah. Nice. I forgot about that. It's like spooky, isn't it? Did the trailer drop in October and it was like moon and like everything was red and bloody or something? There's something about Sunbreak I remember being like, like.
It certainly looked, I don't know if I would say spooky, but that it was like upping
dark.
the ante. Yeah.
My personal Goatee's inscription, hands down. Says Kikator.
Nice.
Small Leviathan, howdy friends and allies. Over the last couple months, I've really gotten into reading manga. Oh, so it's you. Not that I was never into it before, but recently I've picked up a new series like mad, so I want to talk about some of them. Oh, I've picked up new series like mad, so I want to talk about some of them. Here's some manga recommendations from yours truly. I'll start by giving each comic's name and a brief synopsis before saying what I think of it. Sakamoto Days. Taru Sakamoto was the #1 assassin in all of Japan until he fell in love with a convenience store clerk, got married, and had a kid. Cut to the present, and Sakamoto is now living a quiet, regular life with his family, until a former colleague returns to try and drag him back to the criminal underworld. Sakamoto Days is an absolute delight, effortlessly mixing in fun and creative action scenes with really good jokes. Sakamoto himself is a really fun protagonist, a stoic, pudgy man whose violent instincts clash with the pacifistic vow he made to his wife. Freyren, F-R-I-E-R-E-N, Freyren, Beyond Journey's End. Having defeated the Demon King and brought back peace to the lands, the victorious party decides to go their separate ways, but promise to meet up again in 50 years, just like Wet Hot American Summer. When they do so, they've all become old and decrepit, all except for Freyren, the elven mage. When the party's leader Himmel dies a year later, Freyren decides that she never truly got to know him, despite considering her one of his best friends. Shaken by this, she decides to go on a pilgrimage, retracing the steps of her party's 10-year journey. That's cool. Freyren is a sweet, melancholy story about loss, mortality, and living in the moment from the perspective of an immortal. The action series can be a bit stilted and stiff, I imagine, so it's an elf, but makes up for it with excellent writing across the board. One of my favorite elements is the way time slows down as the comic progresses. 50 years pass in the blink of an eye in the first chapter, but it's only between 80 years by the current chapter, showing how Freyren pays more and more attention to the lives of the people around her. That is so cool. I might go check that out. That's a really, really cool premise. Kaiju number 8. In a Japan constantly beset by kaiju attacks, Kafka Hibino is part of the cleanup crew taking care of monster corpses, a far cry from his dream job of being in the anti-kaiju military together with his childhood friend Mina. But when a mysterious encounter gives him the power to transform into a humanoid kaiju, Kafka sees it as a chance to finally fulfill his promise to stand by Mina's side. Kaiju number 8 is basically the ideal shonen manga. The art is fantastic with some of the best action panels I've seen this side of One Piece, and it keeps the pace nice and snappy, having moved the story forward faster in 55 chapters and a lot of other shonen do in hundreds. A really easy recommendation all around, and that's that. I wanted to recommend several more, but it looks like I couldn't fit them in. Oh well. Love and respect. Small Levi.
That was fun.
That was
I really
fun.
liked that.
That was really, really fun. Nice. Your descriptions of the stories were very succinct and wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
You could, yeah. If I ever pitch anything like HBO, I'm going to bring you into the room.
I think all of those sounded cool.
Yeah.
Kaiju number 8, though. It's just
It's
like,
true. It's it.
yeah, really
Come
fun.
on now.
Yeah.
Come on. From Jason Sackle. I really didn't play any games in January. Picross S7 was great. Picross is always good. I continued with Puzzling Places, which is a lot of fun. That brings us to the topic I wanted to write about. There was a concerning discussion last week about looking at the box of a jigsaw puzzle while putting one together. Now, you may think there is no right or wrong way to enjoy a jigsaw. That would be incorrect.
I disagree.
Jason Jigsaw Gatekeeper Sackle. Kicking down doors, walking into living rooms, first smacking the image out of the hands of the 8-year-old child looking at it. Oh, look, Pokemon characters. Wham! Just like, what are you doing? Then, grabbing the table, flipping it, making all pieces go flying across the room, then storming out of the house. Santa Claus brings presents. That's what Jason Sackle does around the world.
I just don't understand. I mean,
Because they're incorrect.
anyone could have their own opinion on jigsaw puzzles. That's fine, but for me, it's just like I can't think of anything that there's no wrong way to more than a jigsaw puzzle.
Can't watch it with those opinions, Ben. Why look at the solution while putting together a puzzle? Because it's a really hard puzzle. That's the puzzle. Is where are those pieces? You got to put the. It's like, why color code a puzzle? It's like, because you got to know what's going on. It's like, I guess. You gotta look at the thing. Also, a lot of the jigsaw puzzles I do are pieces of art, and it's cool. It's cool to look at art. I didn't know I was causing so much pain by looking at the art. Oh no! I've done this with other people.
This is spicy.
I've helped other people contribute to this horrible behavior, Jason. We're not trying to solve for X here. It is taking a variety of pieces and figuring out how they all come together and form a picture. Now, you may have a vague idea of what the picture is via seeing the front when you buy it, open the box, etc. That is inevitable. There are different methods. I like to unpack a puzzle the night before to try to get the image out of my head as much as possible. There's something about taking all those pieces and how you approach them. Maybe you categorize based on colors or shades. Maybe you look at all the edges first and build a frame. Maybe there's a character, person, animal, building, etc. that you just try to form first. Watching the picture come together as you sort through the hundreds and thousands of pieces that initially laid out scattering before you. There's also something fun about being completely stumped, taking a lap, coming back to it, and seeing something you didn't before.
This
all
is
of a sudden,
so intense.
all of us, it's hard mode. It's hard mode. That's all it is, Jason. You're just doing a hard mode, and I respect that. It's jolly cooperation. It's like the game might not have been designed this way. I've never played a jigsaw puzzle that when I looked at the front, it said, "Throw this away, you idiots!" Like, oh my god, I've never seen that text before. Whoops.
I try as hard as I can to get the image out of my mind.
Was Medusa real? There's something fun about being. All of a sudden, you're on a roll, noting this piece connects to that one, that to another. The combination of those makes it clear what piece is supposed to fit in with all of those. If there is a sky, and that section is just gradient, gathering all those pieces together in a group, sifting through what remains. Like, I do all these things. I'm not doing these things. Spreading them out and just looking at the shapes of the pieces and figuring out what goes into what. If a piece is a little cloud, and you just look at the box, you know where it'll end up. You do? You do? It sounds like you think if you look at the image, you finish a jigsaw in like 10 minutes. And again, maybe I'm dumb, but even though I look at the front, jigsaw still take me hours. So if you're like, I like the 40-hour version of it, you're like, cool. Yeah, go do it. Ben, the next time I edit a review, don't send me the review in order. Just send me a bunch of sentences, and I'll try to figure out.
I'm going to send you the script as a jigsaw puzzle.
How the yeah. Just send me the words.
Yeah.
And it's up to me. And then when the sentences really start to flow, you know what I mean? Then now I know what Ben meant when he brought up those mechanics.
This has to be the most contentious community showcase submission I've ever been a part of.
Jason's written worse than this. Where's the thrill, the fun? There isn't. I was just left absolutely befuddled that people look at the box and putting a jigsaw together. The travesty. I just can't get past it. It is absolutely insane to me. In fact, I reached out.
But here's the thing. It's just like, you don't have to do it that way. But why does it bother you if other people do it that way? They're not ruining the experience for you.
No. What Jason doesn't realize is he's making the experience better for me now. Because now, a couple months from now, I'll be sipping some wine, looking at the front of a jigsaw puzzle, and be like, oh, yeah, that's right, Jason. Honey, this is the thing. Remember Jason Sackle? No, I don't remember, honey. Well, I think it's funny. Anyway, okay, let's find that piece. So thanks for that. Thanks for the Jason. In fact, I reached out to about 30 people. I want signatures, damn it. Jason Sackle, I want signatures. I want it submitted to the next showcase as a photograph. And asked if they looked at the box. Here we go. The results are in. Out of all of them, one person doesn't look at the box while putting it together in a jigsaw. First replies was, I'm almost afraid to ask, who doesn't look at the box? So like I said, there is no wrong way to enjoy a jigsaw. Some of us may like a little extra challenge, and that's okay. No need to be so bewildered. It's just a fun recreational activity. Who cares? Enjoyment's what matters. Joey Bruno. Hello, Brendan and Ben. The past month has been full of Persona 5 Royal, and most recently, Pokemon Legends Arceus. However, talking about how lovely Persona 5 Royal is not why I'm here. But, Ben, please bring Persona 5 Royal to Hall of Greats one day. A few allies in the forums gathered to do the second EZA Forum Hall of Greats. I participated for the first time and was pleased my game, Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, was not banned. As a group, we inducted Super Mario World and the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion into our second Hall of Greats. All of the presentations and cross-examination were very well done, and I'm glad to have gotten out of my own personal shell and tad anxiety of speeches a bit. Bravo to Captain Bobamus for setting it all up and keeping it all welcoming. If anyone wants to see all the games brought in all of our presentations and the Q&A, the link is in the showcase comments.
Wiz Topher, thank you for the Prime.
So good.
I want to express this in the right way because I worry about vocalizing it because people are going to take it the wrong way. Because I know this person has nothing but good intentions. I'm not upset with this person at all. But it's one of those things when people are like, bring this to Hall of Greats.
Don't you tell me to bring Hall of Greats.
It just immediately makes me not want to do that.
Well, because no matter...
Not that they're doing anything wrong.
I mean, no, you and I both need to let the community know that we're going to bring to Hall of Greats what we want to bring. We're like, I can't imagine myself bringing something to Hall of Greats because somebody like DM'd me like, you should bring it. I'd be like, oh, good one. It's like, no, trust me, I'm...
You got to bring it because your heart is feeling it.
I'm walking Sophie at night just staring at the ground being like, what if I brought... Yeah, it's every time Isla's brought to Final Fantasy Tactics, it didn't work out. Maybe I should watch those. Think about it. Tegan Combati. Greetings, Jones and Ben.
Hello.
Gaming Spontaneous Pros time. Engage. Capcom Cup 2022 has once again been canceled. It was going to be a live event this year, but because of the rise of the nefarious Decepticon Omicron Capcom Cup, the culmination of an entire year of Street Fighter V tournaments has been replaced with season final event. Here, players who should have been in the Capcom Cup tournament are now battling it out within their own global regions for essentially bragging rights. Additionally, the team-based Street Fighter League Championship was also canceled. I like the term bragging rights because I like to. It makes me chuckle to think it applies to everybody, like baristas and stuff, you know, and they recognize it. You know, you like walking, you're like, "Oh, a Capcom Cup in Bolivia." They're like, "Oh my god!" And they like tell the other baristas, and that's right. You got bragging rights.
That'd be great.
Additionally, the team-based Street Fighter League Championship was also canceled. It's a real bummer for the FGC to have events canceled, and for one more reason for all of us to act with strong vigilance against COVID-19. I will stop there because there's so many headlines, Ben, that I don't bring to the podcast. Just so many interesting things, and we only have like an hour and 40 minutes. And I remember one of those in the worst what is life parts of 2020 to like Kotaku Polygon wrote, and they were just like, fighting game tournaments are having a rough time right now. Like there's a lot of groups that are just we can't do this anymore. You know, it's like, what are we doing? Like maybe in 2 years we can get back together and try again, but it's like, let's not pretend to.
No, it's
tell people it's like us with Easy X. It just stopped. We're not gonna do it anymore.
It's a nightmare. It like straight up like the fighting games, like the energy that you have and the things that you can do when you're in person, like the emotions, the pop-offs, the interactions between the players, like them getting up and running around the stage, like all of that is gone.
Yeah. And
it's like, oh my god, it's just been. I would give anything for fighting game tournaments to be back in person again.
Thankfully, the Capcom Cup season final event will be taking place for 3 days from February 18th through February 20th, showcasing a plethora of fantastic skills and great Street Fighter V action. Moving on, Street Fighter V, not a game that comes up in the showcase a lot. Happy that you were here for that. And
cool.
Street Fighter is one of those franchises that I love. I mean, it's Roman numeral. There's been no dumb subtitles for Hyper Edition and stuff like that back in the day, Third Strike and stuff.
Oh no,
but
there
it's
are
like
a lot of
every time. But when Street Fighter 4 first came out, when Street Fighter 5 first came out, Street Fighter 5, and then all the subtitles come later when there's the other editions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just love that. We joked. It's a horrible thing to joke about because you want games to be successful, especially games that are delayed and cost a lot of money. But like Dying Light 2 Stay Human, Blood like turned to me and he's like, "Good thing they called it Stay Human." I was like, "Oh, the salty dry blood burn." You know, because what does that mean? It's so dumb. It's not as cool to me as Dying Light 2. You're like, yes, Psychonauts 2, Hitman 3. You know, I love that.
I think people forget because like Dying Light has like the good night and good luck as part of its branding, and so I don't know if they were trying to keep with that.
Oh, sure, they live, die, repeat. And
Yeah,
tomorrow, you know, it's like you can't tell. Is that part of the? I like song titles like that are like the song title's like "My Girlfriend" or the person that I hate so much that I wrote the song and I like to tell them that.
I feel like you were describing the
what?
emo genre.
Why do we need the parentheses in the end? Just name the song a thing. It's like, well, technically it's two titles. You're like, what? Diddly dee. Moving on, Dungeon Fighter Duel or DNF Duel is already looking quite excellent and making a big splash in the FGC. DNF Duel?
This is one that I feel really guilty about because, it was getting a lot of hype, and I just completely have missed the boat so far. So hopefully I'll have more time to check it out.
What the hell is a DNF Duel? Second question, why should you care? DNF Duel is a fighting game based on a Korean mobile action RPG being developed by 8ing. 8 is in the number of the word, E-I-G-H-T-ing, who have done a billion things, but most notably, in my opinion, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 / UMVC3 and the Bloody Roar series. Really? Oh. Bloody Roar 1 is... So that's a separate developer that was like outside of Capcom. The Capcom got to do Marvel vs. Capcom 3?
I'm not exactly sure what the relationship is there.
Crazy. Bloody Roar 2. Bloody Roar 1 is in the Fighting Game Hall of Greats, FYI. You should care because after playing the beta nonstop for 3 days back in December, I can attest to its awesomeness, capital A. Just the A is capitalized. Capital A awesomeness. But to summarize, DNF Duel looks like Guilty Gear Strive, but plays like Power Rangers Battle for the Grid with a dash of Dissidia Final Fantasy, if you can believe it. Simple to learn and play.
I was
Dissidia
with you until the Dissidia part.
Dissidia, you put Dissidia and simple and to learn and play so close together in a paragraph, and I start to shake a little bit, but it holds a bottomless well of strategy and execution mastery.
Chat's getting really hyped up about DNF Duel.
Nice.
Cool.
Dissidia is my least favorite HUD of all time. Please do not sleep on this game, guys. There's something special here. Be excellent to each other. Goodbye for now. P.S. Shout out to KOF 15 this month. Should be great. Love and respect.
Hell yeah.
Let's look at some drawings.
I love being on the showcase and then people are talking about fighting games. Like, that's fun for me. So thank you, community, for doing that.
From Eric Jackson, hey Jones and Ben. For this month, I wanted to share some drawings that I did for Drawtober last October. For many people who do Drawtober, or Inktober as many call it, they often utilize a prompt which gives them a new idea or theme to work with day to day. But for this past year, I wanted to take the opportunity to draw friends of mine from the juggling world who have inspired me to be a better me, either because they are amazing jugglers or simply amazing people. Here are 9 of my favorite drawings and the people I was proud to showcase. So for the showcase previously, and I feel fine saying this because I'm jealous, frankly. For the showcase previously, Eric Jackson has juggled. He's done really good voiceover. He's like given us samples of DM stuff that he's done. He's a good editor. And now with the art here, it's like, what? It's like, what's your problem, man?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's super good.
Eric, what's the matter with you? One of my closest friends from when I went to college, Rico, is a tall, tall man with a lot of passion, and I had many late nights of juggling in front of the student union with him. I want people juggling in front of my student union. I went to a community arts college. There were no jugglers anywhere on campus.
Rico, bear with me here. Rico looks like somebody that if the zombie apocalypse happened, he looks like somebody you could genuinely trust.
Yeah, you go. If
that
you,
wouldn't betray you.
Rico's gonna pull you through a window and then like kill the zombie that was outside with you, and then board up the things and ask you if you're okay. And, like,
he's the one that's like, we've got a settlement. Do you want to join?
Rico's got half a Snickers in his pocket. He's cool with you taking it. Yo. One of the best MCs ever to grace the stage. Mark is as funny as he is generous, always looking to give of his time and his energy to others. I mean, who is this guy? Who is this Eric Jackson freak? Sophia is so cool and so empowering. She has grace for days and talent to match. Her eyes are amazing, man. Mm-hmm. They're really good.
As is her hair.
That's good, of course. Come on now. Morgan is legitimately one of the smartest people I know, currently working on her PhD in circus education. And she never fails to light up a room with her laughter. Yes. Sam is smart and funny and constantly works to empower those who cannot give strength to themselves and acts to fight for the rights of Native persons and persons of color everywhere. Make sure...
Yeah, the different styles here are wild and cool.
Bring this over here, actually. Get this up closer. Okay.
I wish I could just draw sufficiently in one style.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. This is Morgan, right? This is Sam, who I just said. Okay, now we're on to number 6. Just making sure. Jacob is very funny and works so damn hard, it's a shame that he doesn't see in himself the joy he brings to others. Man, how can we tell Jacob about that? I love this one. I wonder what that was. What if you did this digitally, or... It's just neat. I like the background a lot. Jay Gilligan is perhaps the most famous juggler right now. He's intelligent, creative, and innovates like no one else. He currently has a show running in New York City called Reflex, and he has a TED Talk about juggling, and I'm very lucky to call him a friend. Cool. Celebrity. Noah is my platonic boyfriend, and our love is real, and it was such a pleasure to get to juggle with him in Vegas a few weeks ago. Yeah, good vibes from Noah for sure. I'd go to Vegas with Noah.
Vegas is awesome.
And of course, I love this guy. And lastly, Just. Like Justin without the in. Just. Just is one of the most amazing people I've ever had the pleasure to know. I was able to photograph his workshop a few years ago. He's a creator of toys made from found objects in the world, and he's personally created thousands of figurines, environments, vehicles, characters, and has been featured at the Kansas City Toy and Miniature Museum. The Kansas City Toy and Miniature Museum. I want to go to Kansas City a number of times for his work. And what makes it all so special is that to him, they aren't toys, but friends with their own lives and hopes and dreams. And everyone I know who's ever met Just can see how special he is. Thanks for all you do, allies. I might just be able to do some more voice work next month, but we shall see. Let respect, Eric Jackson.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Ian Alexander, yo, Brandon and Ben. This month I'm very excited. I was thinking that I skipped RF Switch, but those are photographs. We will get to those next. I'm excited to show you guys my artwork. One of my main motivations to get this done was to hype Brandon up for the... Where are they? Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster coming in February. Hopefully it's not delayed again. Here are 8 images. Check a look. I'm planning to stream my first ever playthrough of the game on YouTube when it comes out, so join me on my channel, Alexander Arts. That is the way that name is spelled, with arts at the end. Alexander Arts, all one word. Love, respect, Ian, at Alexander_Arts on Twitter. And these are just, like, this is your thumbnail, folks. Come on now. There's your thumbnail for the showcase. Obviously, we're going to use the cloud one.
Playing right into Jones's heart.
Obviously, we're going to use the cloud one, but that is the showcase thumbnail. That is the showcase thumbnail. Way to go.
We need a timestamp.
Oh, no. And I love 9 so much, Ben, but these are just like, these are... Oh, that world.
I love 6. I've never finished 6, and so I hope with this remaster I can get through it. But yeah, it's really cool.
It's Terra and Locke, if anybody's wondering. And Mog. Mog the Moogle. Thank you for that. From Terjuengi, greetings, Ben and Brandon. I didn't play many games that came out this year, but here's my list. 5, Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. Not even a mention when picking nominees for Best Remake. It's not a remake. Virtua 5 Ultimate Showdown? Remaster? It's just like an updated...
Yeah, I
It's
would.
like the
I
arcade
certainly
version
wouldn't say it's
ported
a,
to-
I
yeah.
wouldn't say it's a remake.
Might have come up. Still a great game, visually stunning. Just boot up Lost Judgment, and the difference is huge. But then again, it's a 15-year-old game. Number 4, It Takes Two. This game is fun, and how it changes tools along with the level design is amazing. Sadly, the end was a huge bummer. I really enjoyed watching multiple allies in the Dark Prince of Nerd Media play through it because they were very enjoyable. Lost Judgment, number 3. School Club Arc is one of the best side quests I have gone through. Number 2, Tales of Arise. So I've been listening to Tabletop Escapades again for 2 weeks now. Anyone thought while playing this, think that one dude who is in this class and from Chin, Distant Lands? Anyway, Rinwell is fun to play as. I missed that. Anyone thought while playing this, think of that one dude who is in this class and from Chin, ... Distant Lands, ? Anyway, Rinwell is fun to play as. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Just play it, it's great. At number 1, I want an official English translated art book of it. I own the other art books and they're great. I just want to give a shout out to Resident Evil Village. I didn't play it, but I enjoyed every playthrough I watched of it. And Huber saying Rose is my goddamn child over and over and over again. You're the Tiger officially started. Milo was very into Chinese New Year this year. I was watching that when I left the house on Sesame Street. And I'm in my most played game of last year, 232 hours starting from late October. Genshin Impact had a lantern event, which was pretty fun to do. Celebrate the new year, especially with the cutscene of fireworks happening while I played it on New Year's Eve. Got lots of new characters, but I'm saving fates and waiting for a 5-star character who has Virgil's Judgment Cut, who goes well with another character that can do summoned swords. Good stuff. Announcement: March 1st will be my final monthly Chun-Li. Giving her time to breathe, put more focus on original characters and other fan art. This one is just a quick sketch, so I didn't post any work in progress of it. You gave me a bunch of stuff, so I'm gonna put. You gave me a lot of good stuff, so I'm gonna put this all up here. Here are all the games too, by the way. This is just the the completed games. These are fun.
I love the style.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's so good. That like Pocket Fighter, Street Fighter style is so awesome.
So I love doing this. The gal doing the pose. Don't have work in progress of that. In a pose of traditional dancing. Finally, here's just a sexy pose from an original character who doesn't have a name. I wasn't happy with some parts, so I made small changes. I didn't post all the work in progresses, but you can find them on my Twitter blog along with the ones I'm working on. That's all. Love, respect. Teardrew Engi. I think I might have taken them all though, but I just love this. Where the details start to come here. And you have the background. Then you have the depth.
Bulma vibes with that hair.
Love that stuff. Thank you for that. Okay, we're now going to do photographs. And Ben, well, here, let me go back to...
This.
I know.
How do you not say it every time?
I know.
How do you
So
not
let me
say
go
it?
to comments, and then I will grab photographs to go along with our switches post while you chat with chat.
What's up, chat? What do you want to talk about?
So.
You want to talk about Nickelback?
So.
And they say that. What's my favorite Megadeth album? It's a boring answer, but Rust in Peace is by far my favorite Megadeth album. Tornado of Souls might be my favorite metal song of all time. I think it is a perfect song. I would give it a 10 out of 10. If you've never heard it or listened to Megadeth, it'd be the one song that I would point you to. I really like that song, of course, but that whole album is pretty great. But there's a lot of good Megadeth. There's a lot of good Megadeth. I got pissed. They just announced... Because every so often I'm like, where's that new Megadeth album? Where's that new Megadeth album? It just got delayed. It was supposed to come out around this time and like spring-ish, and now it got pushed to summer. You know what song I really like off Euthanasia? Uzi. I really like Addicted to Chaos a lot. Listen to that song a lot. Have you played any instruments? Kind of. I don't currently. I was in band in middle school. Played like the drum, percussion.
Nice.
And then when I was in middle school, high school, I played a little bit of guitar. Like I wasn't great, but I messed around with it. That's my biggest regret in life, though. I wish I played music. I wish I got really fucking sick at guitar. There's still time. It's never too late. The problem is like I don't have any of my old guitar stuff anymore, so I'd have to rebuy all of it, and it could be a little pricey. Thoughts on the music of Alice Cooper? Alice Cooper is somebody I've never really like gotten into. Alice Cooper. I feel like Alice Cooper is kind of like just before the time in metal that I idolized the most. But I should give Alice Cooper more of a chance. Like I haven't really listened to a lot of Kiss either.
Oh. Kiss is better than Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
As much as I love Alice Cooper, it's great. But
I initially read that as Alice in Chains, who I adore very much. Are my skating days benched for now? No, I was just talking about it with my wife, and I was like, I don't know what I said, but I miss it. I miss skating. And so I'd like to get back on that. I don't have any hard plans, but I miss it for sure. Thoughts on Glamarock and the Peacemaker OST? Oh my god, I could talk about Peacemaker for hours.
Nice.
I fucking love that show. That intro is amazing. I love that song. It's been super stuck in my head. I think the music choices that they've done have been really great. They've dug up like a lot of like glam metal is a good way to describe it. A lot of like
man, he's so good at that.
Yeah, he really is. There's a lot of stuff that I've never heard before, but is really fun and totally fits the show. So the music choices have been excellent.
It's making me hungry, RF.
Do you look back favorably on your playthroughs of Suikoden 1 and 2? I really enjoyed your streams. Yeah, those were super fun streams, and the community was great during them. It kind of highlights, though, the problem that I struggle with streaming, where like I get so caught up in chat and talking with you guys that I feel like I'm never paying as much attention to the game as I wish I was. And so it's a give and take, right? Like I get to hang out with you guys, and you guys are super fun, and like there were so many people that just adore those games. It was fun sharing that with them, but I feel like there's so much of those games that I don't recall that well because I was distracted. But yes, I would say ultimately, definitely yes. No, East distracts me from games. I try to play a game, and he will jump in my lap and jam his cold nose into my arm. My wrist. Hey JJ Gomez. Sorry, I didn't see your message till right now. How you doing?
Yo.
These were good questions, chat. You know me well. You're hitting into things I want to talk about. Was it East or West that powered off your PC during one of the Suikoden streams? It was definitely East. It's always East. If you played any Sifu, great question. Actually, just before Brandon got here, I checked out Sifu. I downloaded and checked out Sifu for the first time. Did the prologue and the first level, and holy fucking hell. I really wasn't that interested in Sifu. That game is... I feel like that game was made for me. It's basically a fighting game, but as it under the guise of a beat 'em up. It's really cool. It seems extremely hard, but yeah, I love it. I want to play more of it. Yeah. Don't sleep on Sifu. I was kind of taken aback. I wasn't expecting it to be so expensive. $45. I don't know why I thought that, but going through it, it definitely earns that price for sure. Yeah, that game is really cool. The art style is fantastic. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Buy Sifu, everybody. I think you'll like it.
I cannot land this this post perfectly. So image number 3 RF, I did not have permissions to download, but I got 8 of these images. So I think we're gonna do it. If you want me to grab that last one, maybe we can show it at the end. But let me go back, way back to the beginning because you were the second post right in there. Nice. Okay, and I will start back to the beginning of your comment as well. Greetings, Jones and Ben. I did say that before I would talk about my absurd, unbalanced degree of luck and why it makes me a terrifying goddess when it comes to arcades. But since my breakup, I decided to restore myself a bit. So I decided what better way for me to do that than a hobby that I share with Ben, cooking. And only Ben. And Amanda. The following are some food items that I have made. If any of them strike your fancy, Ben or chat, let me know.
Oh, I
will
love it.
happily share the recipes with you.
I'm so stoked for this.
This is... Number 1, RF Simple pan-fried chicken, a recipe I made from scratch with some spices because I was bored. The secret is to wash the chicken and egg twice, once before you put it in the flour mix, a second time before you add breadcrumbs. Number 2.
Use breadcrumbs in the recipe we made last night.
Ramen, specifically shoyu broth with chicken slices and chili garlic oil. Paid extra for this when I got it from HelloFresh, but my inner Naruto weeb had to. By the way, real ramen varies by the type of broth used. Shoyu means soy sauce. I want to eat our television.
My only thing is I always need like an egg in the ramen. Nice soft-boiled egg.
I give Amanda a funny look, which is just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make some ramen for lunch. Do you want to put an egg on that? I give her a look like,
Yeah.
what are you asking me this for? Like what?
Always need that egg.
Number 3, slow cooker mac and cheese with broccoli. Turkey bacon around the turkey. Oh, sorry, we don't have the slow cooker. We don't have this image. Turkey bacon and ground turkey, the first meal I made with the slow cooker. I have some feelings about how slow cooker foods taste, but this came out good, so I'll forgive it. That sounds absolutely incredible, and I love mac and cheese with broccoli. Number 4, Mushu pork bowls. Another HelloFresh recipe. The flavor in this one was out of this world.
Nice.
A nice blend of salty, sweet, and spicy. RF Switch putting in the work because HelloFresh is a sponsor of these guys' podcast. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Getting the word out. Because, yeah, you make that stuff super fast, and the flavors are so bold. Because they have the packets, man. I love just, woo! A lot of flavor in that one little drop. Number 5, bacon-wrapped jalapeno peppers. Of course. Poppers, excuse me. So the fun fact I learned when I made these is that maple bacon kind of cancels out the spiciness of the peppers, but in a really interesting way that makes it taste so good. I also grew the peppers myself.
Oh,
nice.
Awesome.
Nice. Number 6, RF's screw it breakfast bowl. Sometimes you wake up, you feel like garbage, you just mix cooked rice, cheese, frozen sausage, eggs into a bowl, add spices to it to flavor it up. Yeah.
You know what I do sometimes to spice up like just a bowl of soup? Like if you get the right type of soup and you just cook some rice, you mix them together, can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Amanda adds Tabasco sauce to anything she can.
Tabasco sauce is amazing.
Just throw it in there.
Amanda and I are on the same page.
Number 7, Cheeseburger Mac.
Yeah, always.
The secret to offsetting the thick Velveeta cheese is to use whole wheat pasta. Oh! Also, always use a small amount of flour when mixing cheese and milk. 8, this is a post, please. There's caramelized onion Swiss burger. So the mayo was supposed to have horseradish, so I replaced it with paprika and taco seasoning to save my tongue. And that, those fries look greasy and amazing. Oh my god. Number 9, chicken spaghetti with cream sauce. I need to learn how to save some water from the pasta after I cook it. The sauce was a bit rich. That's all I have for now.
Cool.
Who knows? Maybe I'll share some more later with some of the other allies. Until then, have a good night. Bon appetit. Love and respect, RF Switch. P.S. The tarot card that actually represents Ben is the Knight of Swords. Sure, there's a bluntness to his hotakes, but he's still deeply knowledgeable, logical, and honorable. Logical. P.P.S. Oh, I had to clarify. I usually play Blood's Vulcan. I usually play black or red in Magic, and I'm rebuilding. I swear, dude, there's some meetings, I'm not even kidding. There's sometimes we have meetings behind the scenes where I'm like at Easy Allies, and I'm like, Bloodworth, listen to me. The patrons are gonna love it. He's just like, just don't see why we would move that tier to that level.
Oh, that's so
and
funny.
I'm just like, Bloodworth, you don't understand.
That's so funny.
And I'll get Don on the phone, Don, and he's just like, I'm an editor, not a doctor. Click, and I'm like, Sorry.
What was she saying about Magic?
I had to clarify, I usually play black or red, shout out to red, in Magic, and I'm rebuilding my beloved Necronomicon deck.
Shout out to
I
black.
also hate blue decks.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't, really? Come on.
Blue decks are like if you don't want to play Magic.
Yeah.
But somebody sits down for you and they put down a blue deck, you're like, oh, we're not going to play this game. Okay, cool. I was looking forward to playing Magic, but you're going to be like, no, your name isn't Brandon. Like, what is this car? What? I have your car now. Like, what? How did that happen? Alex AI. Yeah. Oh, sorry. We've already done Alex AI because we already did those photographs.
Look at.
Now into the rest of the photo group. Quite a lot. We have 5 other people who sent us some lovely photographs. From Zatvan Dude. Howdy, allies. Hope you had a great 2022 so far. Recently added Kina and Ico? Ico. They don't say it.
I think it's Eco.
I think it is Eco. Speaking of, where'd you go, Zatvan Dude? Get over here. Yeah. Yep. And they look happy. The group looks happy. I love how we placed Mog. That really looks like Mog is flying. Can't even tell what
That
Mog
is fantastic.
Or what is is there a Moogle and I that has a name?
Yeah, there's a bunch of them that have names. They do like the mail delivery stuff.
Yeah, I just wonder if there's one if we're supposed to know, like, oh, that's clearly the.
No, I don't.
Or something. I don't remember that.
I don't remember the name. Like Rumpelstiltskin. It's something like that. I don't remember the names exactly.
Mitzelplix. To my Final Fantasy IX figure collection, just want to share a couple of photos. Your photos too are also like so great. Only 2 more characters to get, and my collection will be complete. Thank you for your time, and then all you guys do, love and respect, and then just just have a great time. Yep. So good. Nathan Codaroli. Hello, Nathan Codaroli. Hello, allies. I have a Seascape for you this month. It's still on my table, having just finished this weekend, but I hope it still comes out okay in the picture. 16 inches by 40 inches, 15,600 beads.
That's
Please
a lot of
enjoy.
beads.
It's a lot of beads. Please enjoy.
Hell yeah.
And welcome to Rapture.
Oh, super cool.
That thing is huge. And it's the first time you've done like a tall vertical one, and I love it because you can kind of see like the other buildings and stuff in the back. There's not a lot of colors in there, and I love the white on top, just on the surface. Yeah.
You're putting me in the bathysphere.
Yeah. From Samuel Rosman, who left a comment earlier, but we'll go through these really quick, just because it's like he's so good. He's so good to us with these Legos. Finally put together my 20th anniversary Slave 1 from a few years back after watching Book of Boba Fett. A bit uneven, but thoroughly enjoyable. I was like, the Lego or the show? I think Ben built one as well during a Gundam stream. I think it's in the.
I think I started it. I don't
Yeah.
believe I've finished the.
I believe it's on a
Lego.
shelf in the other room.
But yeah.
Pick 2. I also managed to pick up one of my white whales in Lego for an amazing deal. I love Lego white whales. Darth Revan. I bet that is.
Oh, cool.
For an amazing deal. Samuel Rosman doesn't tell us the deal though. I wonder. 68 bill, you think? 3.6 bill?
68 bill.
Hard to tell.
3.6 bill.
3.6. Let us know, Samo. From Kim Nick H. Greetings, Brandon and Ben. Time for a musical hiatus for me on this showcase. This month, I'm going to share a hobby that had a resurgence last summer from about a 10-year period laying dormant. Miniature painting. Here are some work-in-progress photos of my custom Necron Dynasty with both a backstory and color scheme inspired by the Reapers from Mass Effect.
Dude, I want a Necron Dynasty.
Hope to share the finished army in the future if there ever is such a thing as a finished army. Stay great, allies. Love and respect. I love hanging out with my buddies Todd, Steve, and Ed. Todd and Steve was his wedding I went to in Santa Barbara a couple months back. And whenever I sit down, they'll just like drink some wine or they'll give me a beer and they're making dinner in the next room or something. And there's always like 4 or 5. They always just come in with like a couple things. They're like, look at that guy. And I'm like, that's who is this? And they're like, oh, that's Bryce's guy. And I'm like, Bryce, who's this? He's like, she's got a shotgun and blah, blah. And I'm like, he looks cool. He looks neat. I'm like, oh, he's got a little pack. Okay, cool. And who's this? There's always like one big thing. It's like, love it. I wish I played more D&D with those guys. They're fun. Let's look at the pictures. Kim Nick H. Especially with I've never done sci-fi tabletop. Like Vampire the Masquerade is as sci-fi as I've got.
It doesn't exist anymore, I don't think. But in middle school, I had this player's handbook for the Star Wars like Roll20 game, and it was super sick. Yeah.
It's funny. It's like Blizzard has I know this is probably so obvious to some people, but like Blizzard has Warcraft and Starcraft, and Warhammer is like both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I get what you're saying.
I mean, kudos for having 2 IPs, Blizzard, but it's just like Warhammer's like, yeah, we got dragons and spaceships, bro. Let's do it.
There was a WoW Roll20 game as well.
I love these. I love the blue pops.
Yeah.
And it's so smart again to unify like multiple things coming up if they all have this. Oh, they look so cool.
Yeah, I want to lead this army. This looks fun. I've always wanted to paint miniatures. Never done it. One of the few nerd things I feel like I've never done.
One of these days in my life, I'm gonna buy a 3D printer, and Amanda's gonna be like, "We don't need this." I'm
Yeah.
like, "I know." I'm gonna be in my office.
That's like the conversation
It's so much fun.
I've had with my wife, where it's like, okay, if you're gonna get into comics,
Look
like
at that. Yeah.
you have to buy fewer games.
The bronze, like, you know,
Yeah, that's amazing.
joints.
That's really
the
cool.
little bronze like beads in the middle there. It's so cool. I love like the red light in the front. Just messing dudes up. Yeah, I'd be scared. I'd be scared if those guys showed up.
I wonder what the percentage is of people who buy the miniatures but don't play the game.
He's
I
at
have to
a
imagine
concert.
it's
He's coming out
high.
on stage. That guy's coming out on stage. He's holding a guitar. That's a musical instrument. He's like, "What's up?" Good luck.
Freebird!
Freebird. And from Spectron. Hey there, Ben and Brandon. So I promised last time I would strive to share some new photography work of mine every month. This whole light painting business I discovered recently has turned into a neat little creative avenue for me. Last month I showed you some cool effects you can achieve with lighting up steel wool and spinning it around. It strongly resembled the dimensional portal from Doctor Strange. Very otherworldly. This time around, though, we went for something entirely different. Turns out a perfectly ordinary toy lightsaber
Cool.
is a really effective prop for painting colored lightscapes. Here's some examples of what you can achieve with some good old-fashioned saber swinging. And there were like 15 or so of these, so I picked the 9 that I thought were cool, because Spectron let me. And these are just so neat. You know?
The door to the multiverse right there.
And I love that it's like Tron. You know, it's like little light cycles. Like, that's so neat. Big fan. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Start to bring in the red. Ooh.
Looks like a flower, kind of.
And I love the backdrop is really great. I love that it just rained. I love the the whiteness of the light coming off there. I can see your friend's face.
Pretty.
Yeah. So I think this was just a different lightsaber. You know those like multicolored rave lightsabers that are like.
This one
rainbow-colored?
especially looks like an album cover.
Yeah, there's another. Wait, there's another one. Yeah, let's go. Something down there. The person kind of vanishes, and that one's a little creepy. Very ghostly. Just love the layering. It's like, how did that? Did you have a bunch of different colors here? Yeah, that's my favorite of that. Yeah, that's definitely an album cover.
Yeah.
Thank you for those, Spectron. We only have one entry for screenshots, and I'm going to leave it up the entire time because it's amazing. Because it's just a GIF that just loops forever, and it's just super great. So take it away, GIF. Hey, allies, longtime patron, first-time showcaser. I thought it might be fun to give a shout-out to a project I've been contributing to over the last few years. Westeros Craft, which I have definitely heard of.
So fucking cool.
Is a Minecraft server that for 10 years now has been rebuilding the world of Game of Thrones in a seamless, open-world map. The world is based on Westeros as it is described in the books. Winterfell, Red Keep, Highgarden, Castle Black. It's all there. Here's a quick showcase. I know there's a few Game of Thrones fans among the allies. Well, you're making me a Game of Thrones fan again. You know, like you're bringing me back. You know, can you imagine?
This GIF is better than the entirety of season 8.
I know
It is. That's just a fact.
Can you imagine just seeing the wall? Can you imagine like walking for a long time with other players online?
Yeah.
And then you're just like, well, I just thought the last episode of Book of Ben. It's like, shut up. What? Like, look. You see it? And it's like, oh, there it is. Like,
Dude, is the next book ever coming?
I don't think it's coming out in his lifetime. I think he's like trying to make a point or something. And King's Landing obviously is amazing. And
Yeah, this is truly impressive. Very cool.
The first few seasons of the show, at least, and the server is open for anyone to come visit and explore. So we'd be happy to give you a tour anytime. No, that's a fun idea. You can find more info at westeroscraft.com for anyone listening or need me to spelling that. That's Westeros, Westeros, craft.com. Congrats on finishing Goaties. Looking forward to 2022. Like that was it. They just needed a GIF of just Game of Thrones screenshot. I know we're joking, Cash. You're literally bringing me back into this world. Like,
yeah.
I used to love this world so much, and
Same.
they
Brennan, I would just
look how they massacred my boy.
Game of Thrones, the show, was one of my favorite things, and I just remember like late nights, just like watching YouTube videos, Alt-Shift-X videos, and like reading wiki entries about characters. I loved it so dearly, and I felt like it was ripped away from me.
The show ended when I was in Hawaii, or the second to last episode. You know, the great one was when I was in Hawaii, and like Amanda and I were in Paradise. She was pregnant. You know, we were
Yeah.
like, this is our last trip. They told us we read all these books, the child psychology books, and they were like, take a vacation while you can.
Yeah.
And we're so glad that we did. So we went to Kauai, and we're sitting there in this paradise, just looking at each other like,
Yeah.
you know, just outside drinking Hawaiian beer, like, oof. Just, you know.
And
Not, not mad, not like arguing with each other, or really trying to make a point. I'm not gonna blog about it. You know, I didn't post a video or anything.
Yeah.
I think I tweeted once. I was just like, oof.
And it's one of those things, right, where like you love it so much that you go through that phase where you like lie to yourself and you're like, well, maybe it's not so bad. Like I like this, right? And then like there's the more that you just can't. Like it's so bad that you can't convince yourself that you like it.
Get those headphones on.
Oh.
The showcase is about to get cranked. Kieran Little, greetings, Sirs Jones and more. Last April, I finally sought out a piano teacher, and after having been a self-taught musician for many moons previous to that, finally started to learn and read music and play piano correctly. Naturally, the first thing I did was apply this to playing video game soundtracks. If I recall correctly, Ben has said before, the Metal Gear Solid is his favorite game.
Correct.
So please enjoy this cover
Always and forever.
of Enclosure for piano and guitar. Love and respect.
I have shamed myself and my people. I am no longer the wolf I was born to be.
When I first played this game, I loved it to the point where I was like, okay, this is the pinnacle of human art achievement, right? Oh, man.
Now I am nothing more than a dog.
You're no dog. You're a wolf.
EZX,
Gunfire,
the liquid fist fight. I was like, oh, this is harder than I remember it being.
They were my lullabies. Set me free.
You said that love could bloom on a battlefield.
I've never done a Metal Gear full playthrough on my own, and I really want to do that. Let's make that happen in 2022, chat.
Kieran Little, aka Mr. Cone Man.
That was awesome,
That
by
was-
the way.
Yeah,
Like,
holy cow.
right in the core of my soul, you hit me.
Kevin Gillet, hello B&B, proud of the patrons. My game of the year is Metroid Dread as well, and thank you for the usual treat of watching you deliberate for an entire day, during which one of you regularly proposes a way to make this faster and more efficient, and you just disregard what's being proposed immediately and keep going around in circles for another half hour.
Yep.
No, but seriously, it's fun to watch. Let's just thank Isla for timekeeping every once in a while. Anyway, There's one thing we can't have enough of. It's versions of the Easy Allies theme. Here's another one. A certain Jesse might have nudged me in this direction, which we hope will please Jones. As you know, I'm hard to please. As Jesse said, it could be suited to late night stuff, although late night is relative with this oblate spheroid of a planet. Community Showcase is pretty late for me here. Considering how it ended up, and was even later today, I'm sorry. I called this Cup of Easy Allies. Enjoy. Now, if you excuse me, I'll just go back to Hisui to fill my Pokedex. Love and respect, Kevin Gillet.
This feels like a Persona 5 song. In the best possible way.
I think this might be the new Cup intro. This is the countdown right there. This will be the countdown now. It's too good. So ready for Cup? Yeah. Make it happen. Stealing music from Kevin Gillet is one of my favorite things to do. I like that even Isla sings the theme. Like I was in the control room, I like just flipping on switches and stuff like that.
It's catchy.
It's our theme, man. It's 6 years later, and we're still. It's a good. It's the theme. That's what they're doing.
This is great. This is like perfect comedy.
Oh yeah. Oh, come on now.
If you own a cafe, obligated to focus. I doubt anyone owns a cafe, but if you do, option.
It's time. Dude. That was super good. We have 16 videos, unless RF Switch tells me that I'm mistaken.
Final Fantasy 16
And that will be
videos.
the end. We do not have any Final Fantasy. No new gameplay today. I'm sorry. I apologize if you tuned in to the community showcase today expecting us to premiere new gameplay, new unseen gameplay.
Chet, what are you
of
doing
Final
submitting
Fantasy 16.
to the community showcase and not including
Where's
new
the
Final
game- where's
Fantasy
the game-
16 games?
Why do you think we come into the office?
What
That's
are you
all-
doing?
I'm gonna play that video game right there.
What?
15. I was a little pissy brat about. You don't have to worry about that with 16. I'm buying that when it comes out. I'm gonna play it.
Day one.
Day one, baby.
He's in.
I'm in the zeitgeist.
Then he's gonna get caught up in 14 too.
We'll see. Might get on a kick and not be able to stop. From Sarah Knight. Happy Year of the Tiger, Jones and Ben. You're the Tiger. How cool is that? It's like
pretty cool.
You're the Tiger, basically. Like we're reading up on it, and it's almost like the Tiger stepping in, being like, "We're getting out of this. Don't worry." And we're like, "Thank you, Tiger. Please." Last year has been brutal.
Tiger,
He's
take
like, "That's
the
what I'm
wheel."
all about. Getting through hard things like that. Tiger time. Hope things are going well for you. Sorry to say, but there won't be a cat video for Ben this month. Sorry, Ben. There will be a cat video. It's not from Sarah Knight.
Oh.
Instead, though, to celebrate the Lunar New Year, I did some drawings from Animal Crossing's own Streak of Tigers. Yes, that's what a group of tigers is
Cool.
called, a streak. Hope you guys enjoy it. Continue to stay safe and be awesome to everyone around you. Much love and respect, Sarah Knight.
Sarah's setting a high bar.
Yeah.
Sarah, you really do an excellent job of capturing the Animal Crossing style. Dude, KK jamming.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, the shine.
Yeah, creative, right? Good timing.
That's one of the things I love, man. That's one of the things I loved about Milo is just like so many things he's celebrating, so therefore I'm like, right, I don't know if Chinese New Year would have really been on my radar. That's a bummer. Is California Adventure does a great Chinese New Year thing. They have, like, Mulan and all, just all these fun ways to, to incorporate like stuff into Disneyland. Eat all the cuisine.
Yeah. I was there at the beginning of January. The Avengers like land that they have is like cool but super tiny.
Well, so was Bugs Land. So when they like swapped one for the other, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I know where to set my expectations.
Yeah.
It's
Set
a
your
fac-
expectations.
It's not a land, it's a facility.
Yeah.
It's storage.
I feel more relaxed just looking at these.
I know. That's why some people say, like, there's been comments over the years about like how to organize the stuff in Showcase. And it's like, that kind of sells just at the end because it's nice, like,
Stretch out.
still reading that. Have I ever had dim sum? I, of course, had dim sum.
This has been a thing with chat because they asked
Dim
me
sum?
about dim sum not that long ago. The dim sum agenda,
What's that? Yeah.
and I'm not opposed to
I'm team dim sum.
it. Never had dim sum.
Been there, done that. It's been somebody's thing. Some Mamoni. All these available in the shop.
I've
Nice.
never done that at a concert, like at a glow
TeePublic.com/user/.
stick. I want to do that.
Thank you for submitting, Sarah. Yay! All right, time for our monthly. Oh no, I downloaded it. I forgot the other one. I can move on to somebody else and then download it because he sends me such a big file and I up. Oh wait, no, you probably grabbed it. Why didn't I move it over? Maybe it downloaded. Maybe I just put it over. I'm talking to myself. Ben's confused. He started.
I
I'm scared.
downloaded the February
I don't know if I
folder.
put it up in there though.
What's up, chat? What do you want to talk about?
Was that? Okay, I'm gonna have to go back to download it from there.
I'm gonna look up dim sum.
Uh,
I don't believe I've ever had it. Let's see. This looks like a dumpling.
Kinda, yeah.
I love dumplings. Love them. Have them often. Dim sum is a large range of small Chinese dishes that are traditionally enjoyed in restaurants for brunch. Most modern dim sum dishes originated in China and are commonly associated with Cantonese cuisine.
And monkey's brains, while popular in Cantonese cuisine, are not often to be found in Washington, D.C. Alexander
Steamed
Zerinoff,
dumplings
thank you for your
over
submission.
fried every time.
Zerinoff gives us a giant video, a giant clean video that I did not upload. I downloaded it separately because it's a gig. It's over a gig. So I'm downloading that right now. I'm going to move on to Kiraz and then go back. Whoop. After I grab the mouse. Whoop. Whoosh.
What if these allies did a mukbang? Like all of us.
We'll get there. Kiraz. Made it. That's all Kiraz said. Made it.
I was not expecting Metroid Prime to be the amazing experience that it was. I was expecting a great experience, but I think this is S-tier material. I mean, it really does so many great things, and Pokemon Sword could have learned a lot from it. I didn't quit it like Dark Souls 2, but I don't have many flattering things to say about Pokemon Sword. Space Warlord Organ Trading Simulator. This didn't take very long to beat. I would recommend picking it up if you have Game Pass. It's a little frantic kind of economy game and just does a good job delivering. Uncharted 3 neither did anything that impressed me nor put me off. Solid C-tier fun game. Monster Hunter Rise, oh man. I'm gonna have to go with B. I really like the Wyvern writing. I really like that the quest giver doesn't annoy me, and I've enjoyed playing this with heavy bowgun on PC. So that's how 2022 is already shaping up this year. I'm really excited for Horizon and Elden Ring. I think it's going to really mess up this bell
Half-Life
curve.
Alex is down there. And
so we'll see what happens. I hope it does.
You got 2 more games.
What's going on? It's Half-Life Alex now. What's going on?
I have to know.
A wonderful month of February. Talk to you soon, allies.
That's a code for something, right? That's code for something. That was a statement. Happy gaming. Hello there, allies. Ben and Jones. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm back again this month with a new review. This one's been a long time coming. My first official review, as many remember, was for Red Candle's game Detention. It remains one of my favorite horror experiences I've had over the last long while, and I was so sad when the team's follow-up, Devotion, had a long history of difficulties with its release. Recently, though, Red Candle Games was able to finally release the game via their official website, and I was able to give it my full attention. If I'm being honest, I still like Detention more, but both are incredible games to experience and showcase both Taiwanese culture and psychological horror stories in a way that many modern developers just don't. I'll leave you with my review's abridged closing comments prior to starting, and hope everyone enjoys it. If you'd like to watch the full thing and check out my other work, feel free to head over to patreon.com/happygaming to see more for free. Jones, please feel free to cut video off at 3 minutes. Love you all. Brian from Happy Gaming. I get a Brian from Happy Gaming script. I can just read. I don't think I've done this before. There are many games that tackle psychological horror, but few games and few developers have left me thinking so deeply about a project days after I watched their credits roll. Devotion has extremely serious, sometimes intensely bleak and dark subject matter, but also manages to tell a completely sympathetic story without pulling its punches. At its best, even in a short time, Devotion shows how much we need true psychological horror stories in video games, as well as stories that showcase specific cultures, ideas, and attitudes. Like Detention before it, Devotion can bring up the best thoughts of playing Silent Hill for the first time, shocking you, confusing you, but in the end, revealing disturbing truth in a way that is despondent, chilling, and grimly pitying. Could that devotion you've shown for what you love the most actually slowly be invisibly causing everything you care about most to crumble around you? Is this haunted room actually stretching? Or is it your imagination?
Where is Mei Shin?
Okay.
From the very first moments of Devotion, this is the thought that continually races to the player's mind as our protagonist, Du Feng Yu, opens his eyes into what will become an ever-descending personal nightmare. Like Red Candle Games' predecessor, Detention, this is a slow, dark, and psychologically disturbing journey that will eventually reveal the tragedies of the character's past. Devotion shows Red Candle Games growing as one of the most innovative and talented horror developers in the industry, uniquely demonstrating specific Taiwanese culture sensibilities rarely shown in the vast majority of games. At its best, Devotion fully lives up to its name, revealing over a shattered set of memories how important devotion can be, between a husband and wife, parent and child, work and talent. As we dive deeper though, Devotion doesn't shy away from the idea that becoming too devoted to the wrong things will cause us to overlook the impact that has on the fragile structure of our everyday lives. By the game's end, Du Feng Yu's hindsight shows us a dangerous type of devotion that causes him to create growing fractures and cracks in his life that will inevitably become his own downfall.
Such a senseless song.
Similar to their previous horror outing, Devotion follows a character struggling in a state of limbo to uncover the bleak secrets associated with their past. Unlike the side-scrolling Detention, though, Devotion takes much more direct cues from Hideo Kojima's cancelled PT, switching to a first-person perspective that focuses more on exploration and puzzle-solving than enemy confrontation and avoidance. For the vast majority of the game, you'll be confined to the claustrophobic and intimate apartment of troubled screenwriter Du Fang Yu. While initially this may sound dull, the ways that the protagonist's mind rebuilds the apartment building transforms his memories from what may have been remembered as sweet to something much more sinister. As the game gets going, you'll enter his apartment from several different years in his life, and see it change through different life stages. These points will represent key memories for him, his wife, and his daughter. One memory will have you moving into the apartment for the first time, while another is the night of a typhoon. These locations start out normal, but as the player contextualizes events further, they alter themselves, changing in frightening and disturbing ways. Mannequins follow the player just out of their periphery in one, and celebratory lights turn to glaring eyeballs in another. These parts don't just flesh out the story of our protagonist Du Fang Yu and his wife, but also his daughter Mei Xin, as scenes are oftentimes seen through vignettes from her perspective. This perspective alteration illuminates the important difference people may remember from the same events, and how it can deeply affect them over time.
Good stuff. Again, full review, Happy Gaming's website. Happy Gaming's YouTube channel. I think Zerionav's video might be done. What do you say?
VO, not easy to do. Harder than it seems. Very good VO.
Happy Gaming is super zen.
Yeah.
He's a very, very zen guy.
Yeah.
And so
good
it's
VO.
very, very calming to hear him talk about stuff. All right.
Good pace.
Yeah, let me read the post for it first, because it is downloaded. You need the context. From Alexander Zerionov. Hello, allies. I'm continuing highlighting my favorite Apex Legends characters, and today we will talk about Horizon. Almost a century ago, Dr. Mary Summers was hired to find a solution for the upcoming cataclysmic energy crisis. With the help of her apprentice, Dr. Reed, she discovered an element that could be the key to limitless energy. It could be found only on the accretion disk of a black hole, so after promising her son Newton she'll return safe and sound, Mary departed on a dangerous mission together with Dr. Reed. However, after they've got the element, Reed betrayed her and sent her shuttle into the black hole's orbit. Using her wits, Mary managed to escape, but time moves differently on the outskirts of a black hole, and she was 87 years too late. Determined to fulfill her promise, she joined Apex Games as a new legend, Horizon, to fund time travel research with her winnings. During one of the matches, she discovered a message from herself telling her that she will eventually succeed and return to her child. However, she was still unsure what happened to adult Newton when the laboratory he worked in was destroyed. It's like Aliens. It's like Ripley waking up later. Eventually, Pathfinder helps her realize that one of her former colleagues' minds was trapped inside a simulacrum named Ash. Looking for answers, she got codes from Crypto and unlocked Ash's original identity, only to find out that it belonged to Dr. Reed, the very person who portrayed her all those years ago. In terms of gameplay, Horizon is an offensive legend. Thanks to her passive ability, she makes quicker turns in midair and isn't briefly staggered after falling from high places like other legends do. Her tactical ability creates a gravity lift that propels legends, vehicles, and grenades upward and boosts them outward when they exit the lift. This can be used to easily reach higher ground, to quickly relocate downed enemies and push away your pursuers. Also, gravity lift allows you to pull enemies from behind cover and to move opponents who are body blocking doors from the other side. Horizon's ultimate ability creates a black hole that destroys doors, stops vehicles, and pulls legends towards its center, where they can be easily damaged by area of effect attacks. It can also be used to block indoors passages where you need to heal or revive your teammates. However, Horizon's abilities are easily seen from afar for a significant time, giving away your exact location to anyone who decides to become a third party. I enjoy playing as Horizon because she's very mobile and can quickly get your squad to advantageous and hard to reach positions. Also, I like her attitude and her personality. In this video, I've tried to highlight her abilities as well as her interactions with Mirage, Ash, and other legends. This is just a small taste. The game is much more than I can possibly show in just 3 minutes.
You know, science. You know, science isn't exactly an exact science. Another soft landing. Here's a picky up, pals. Deployed. Got him. Dinny fret, Elliot. It's not as bad as it looks.
Thanks, ma'am. Mary? Dr. Mary? I got you, Miss Summers. I Dr. Summers.
We're already inside the next ring. Well, you look at that. You're a natural doctor yourself.
Really? I mean, I did get a C in health class. Wait, watch. I can run and shoot good, too.
Death box here. Reed's favourite plaything.
An acceptable selection.
Well, you know what they
The
say.
last time I played,
Don't stab a gift horse in the back. Rings near. Got 45 seconds to consider
I
any
don't know.
betrayals
It's
we've committed.
probably like 2020.
Next ring's far.
know
Best
that I
make
played
like
it
an
all in
astronaut
2021.
deserting her friend and go.
Your passive aggression is noted and disregarded.
And that's not the only thing you can give me, you backstabbing blender.
I will grant you a
None of the
chance
other
to
allies.
survive.
There's like Fortnite.
Judging by this, your survival decades ago was a scientific anomaly.
Brandon.
Sorry to slow you down, dear. I suspect you've got a lot of lives to end before supper.
Is this why you woke me? To account for your obvious shortcomings?
Oh, being helpful, are we? Doesn't seem like you.
Bet it feels good knowing you brought back the woman who left you for dead.
I'll confess it's been a trying old time. Maybe you were right about not using those damn codes on Ash.
Just imagine what else you've been wrong about, Doc. You accidentally freeing your mortal enemy. Delicious.
For the... Can I have just one insane simulacrum on my case?
Hacking Ash's mind was dangerous.
Let's explore this way.
I got some answers, aye. Just not the ones I wanted.
Nice. Ending on a win.
All of the effects we use here.
You are the Apex Champions.
Shout out to Elle Newland, who does the voice of her, who's one of Amanda's good friends. It's funny, I heard the voice and I was like, oh wait, that Amanda auditioned for Horizon and didn't get it. And then later was like, yeah, Elle got it. I knew Elle would get it. But I tried my best. I went to the booth. I did my best. But Elle's very fun. It's just fun. I don't know if she knows the other Apex Legends characters. I've met a couple here and there, but specifically Elle. Shout out.
Shout out.
And then we did Happy Gaming, but not Low TS yet. Hey, Benmo and Jonesy. Yes, it's me, back with some Star Citizen. This time a video. I just wanted to briefly and sweetly give some explanation to it. It's been a bit of a weird editing in the middle as I got to take this from a longer piece to meet the 3-minute deadline, so apologies for that. Anyway, we just got Jumptown 2.0 over Christmas. What is Jumptown, I hear you ask? Well, about a year ago, a bug in the game caused a specific drug to skyrocket in sell price. This caused a secret drug lab hidden on the moon, Yela, deep in pirate territory, to produce this drug in quantity, which a small number of players started to pick up on. They flew there with their cargo ships, brought the drug cheaply, and only had a short quantum jump to the hidden pirate base of Grim Hex, dug in one of the asteroids close by where they could sell it and make a really easy living. However, it didn't take long before this news started to spread in the community. It became more and more of a war zone for people who wanted to make easy money and for others that wanted to uphold the law and stop this drug from spreading. After a couple weeks, through the developers, RSI managed to fix the bugs and things went quiet. Until now, that is. The devs had picked up on what a player-centric event this had become, and in secret decided to rebuild the area of the moon and planned their own timed event around it. Just before Christmas, they announced Jumptown 2.0. This is where the video takes place. We as an organization decided to fly in, grab some money, and fight anyone trying to stop us. What followed was an intense evening with a lot of exciting and thrilling action and lots of laughs and stupid fun. Enjoy! Lots of love. Lotias. Nice.
Art is saying we might have skipped just Blue.
Just Blue's next.
Okay.
And
I got a new one. We got new insight.
New is 40 kilometers out.
deploying. Marines are on mission.
Keep it.
All right, I have visual on the base, holding position and scouting visually.
Reclaimer's on the move, providing light.
Whose Cutlass Black is that?
It's not ours. Not ours.
Light it up.
Turrets engaged.
All right, dismount. We need that bottom turret focus on the ground. Give us any,
6 meters, 6 kilometers out.
That's the Redeemer.
Technically, bottom turret, but technically shouldn't be here.
Right.
Yeah, I'm moving around the rear of the building.
Alright.
Under the building, under the door.
Under the door?
Right in front of you. He's hiding behind the pillars.
He's down.
White suit, he's
hold
down.
fire, hold fire. Get ready. Get ready. Go, go, go. Move, move, move. Let people move first. Right people move second.
Good kill.
Clearing storage room.
Clear. Clearing.
It looks clear.
Right side doors. Right side rooms are clear.
Rooms are clear. Storage is clear. But little did we know at the time that the skies weren't clear. There was a lurker somewhere, waiting for an opportunity to strike and take back the profits that we had just stolen. And they had friends. But we knew it was only a matter of time before somebody would come and try to reclaim it. So we worked diligently and efficiently, prepared to protect what was now ours.
Everyone's attacking Morph.
Yeah, everyone's going after me.
Try spinning, that's a good trick.
Yeah, every single thing is shooting at you more. There's not a single ship not shooting at you.
Yeah, I'm going down, you guys.
Bad, really?
And I'm dead.
Give me good.
And I'm dead.
I'm dead. Jesse Blue. I've been working with my production software and I've upgraded to linking images, videos, and audio. I've started working on this file last month, but December was really tough with holidays sandwiched between 2 migraines and end of the year on top of it. I'm feeling much better, but I'm sad I wasn't able to have this finished for Damiani to see. I was thrilled to hear Ben would be the next ally for the showcase because the content is a shared interest between the two. Ben, I love watching your solo streams because you are always super chill, communicative, involved chatting your content, and genuinely passionate about whatever you're streaming, and that passion shines through. Please enjoy something I've been working towards getting better at. I'm not sure audio and video production are as difficult to master as fighting games, but time, which I'm lacking right now, is the primary ingredient. Take care. Love and respect. Hugs and smiles, Jesse Blue. P.S. In an effort to stretch the loophole as far as I could, please enjoy not 9, but 77 images and video clips. Because it's a
This is Minx. She's a Chantilly Tiffany, which is a long-hair breed whose fur looks black at first glance, but when seen in the sunlight, actually has dark chocolate or espresso coloring. She has gray underfur which, because she's long-haired, she doesn't really shed, but it does rub off when she sleeps. On beds and blankets, chairs, her stand, everywhere she sleeps. And she sleeps everywhere. Most black cats like Halloween, but she can take it or leave it. She has her favorite toys, a shrimp full of catnip, a jingly bird on a string, and a piece of crocheted yarn Little Blue made when she was 7, before we had Minx. One of her favorite toys is my D20. She loves it. She likes climbing up high, crawling down under, and laying on me, usually when I'm playing on my Switch. She has never tasted Doritos, but she's convinced she'd like them. Christmas is merrier with her around. She'll sit in boxes of any size.
It's true. Yes, 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 yes.
She keeps me on task when I'm working from home. She also does this weird thing where when she's done with a really tasty treat, she buries it. Do all cats do that?
Yeah, exactly. I can't save this for later. That's good.
One year for Halloween, Little Blue wanted to be a blue panther. I made the gloves and tail myself.
Oh.
They even have cat costumes in Animal Crossing. Hey, how'd that get in there? Anyways, she really does love laying around. The sunnier spot, the better. She's often underfoot, or laying where she shouldn't be. Clean clothes or dirty, she doesn't care. There's a classic cat pose. Love those toe beans. Minx is beautiful, and we love her.
Yay! Good stuff. Oh,
Always
man.
send in cats.
Always, yes. Always really fun to get just kind of a window of what y'all are doing. Thank you for that. Michelle Jackson, Howdy Jones and Ben. This month I decided to make a time lapse of the process of me making a character sheet. This one took about 3 hours to make over the course of 2 sessions. Hope you all enjoy it. P.S. Wanted to give a flashing light warning as the video is sped up quite a bit. So, it is fun game dev, but in case you're sensitive, stuff like that. FYI.
The music always so on point. Every time.
Yeah. Styles, but like, yeah, that was great.
Not quite like that. Going back and changing.
I like that when you have something in a color, but then go over it with a solid line. So satisfying. I enjoy watching it so much.
Super impressive. Always impressive. Jones, I have to take a quick pee break.
All right.
I'll be
time
right
for me
back.
to cover for you for a second.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, chat? Switch it back to comments. We got From the Void, Radioactive Magic, Stephen Colbert, Matt Johnson, Mo Grant, Ashes of Aranea, Bo, Robert Lee, and Nick Gothic. And that will wrap up the Easy Out Showcase for the month of February, unless I missed one, which has happened in the past. I've downloaded Arceus. I've not checked it out. But I have bought it. I knew I was gonna buy it, and I was gonna check it out. I bought it and put my Switch to sleep, and put my Switch away. I was like, I know you're gonna take forever to download it on the Wi-Fi, and I know I'm not gonna play it tonight. Not playing a heck of a lot because I'm reviewing Horizon. Playing lots and lots of Horizon. Are you digging into Horizon? It's okay. Blood said you all received codes. I am. Cannot speak about it. Not gonna say a thing about the quality of that game. Just that I got it. Am I auto battling right now? I'm not. Sadly not. The thing about the major auto battling is the time runs out. You only get so much time per week to do that really XP grinding. And they upped the level cap in Marvel Future Revolution from 110 to 120. And my cap is 113, I think, because I just haven't really been focused on that. But yeah, how am I doing today? I'm doing good. I was bummed I had to go late. That was just like a scheduling thing, and then I hate missing things, but it's kind of part and parcel to doing the showcase. But I love the showcase. I love checking in with everybody. I love how many people do updates on the showcase. That's always such a treat. Even people like like Kevin Gillet and Kieran Little, who will do a different song, but it's like, hey, there's their recording room. Like I love hanging out in that room with Kieran's piano. I just love like being. Do I like ska? There's nothing wrong with ska. There's no ska on my Spotify right now, but Stephen Colbert, your vid's in here. You're after Radioactive Magic. Next is From the Void, then Radioactive Magic to talk about some Pokemon, and then Stephen Colbert. I like Narwhal says I'm doing great. Jones, you were right. I only just saw this. My link to the video totally got eaten by Patreon. You did find the right video, though. Oh, nice. Okay, yay. So Radioactive, I just went to Radioactive's YouTube channel, and I was like, it's probably the latest one you posted, and it's probably about battling. And there it was. So we'll have to find that. Gotta put some ska on my Spotify, all right. I think Arceus is gonna be something you really like. Cool. Yeah, Ben was playing Arceus when I came in to set up. I just heard like jolly music, and I was like, that sounds kind of Final Fantasy-esque, because I thought he was on his phone. I thought he might have been playing one of them Pixel remakes, but he had his OLED. What have I been listening to on Spotify? Stuff. Listen to the Beach Boys a lot lately. Terminator 2 thoughts. Good soundtrack. Talking about music. One of my favorite things about Terminator 2 was Brad Fiedel did the music for Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. So it was awesome hearing this guy write this theme in the 80s for this terrifying Schwarzenegger action film called The Terminator. And the score is like beer meow meow beer meow beer 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 beer. And I was like, oh, this T2 movie's gonna be cool. Let's go see it. Dun 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 dun. I was like, oh my god, like whoa. They must have got somebody else to do the music. Like, no, same guy. It's like, well, then what didn't he do in the 80s? What happened in 5 years that the Terminator 2 theme beat up and killed the Terminator 1 theme? Like, what in the world?
Bigger, better.
Dun 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 dun. Bum 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 bum.
It's so weird seeing the T-1000 in Peacemaker because he looks so different that it's an easy thing to forget.
From the Void. Hey, Jones and Ben. This time, inspired by your recent GOTY shows, I will take a break on the obscure Mario characters list for just 1 month, and will instead present my top 21 best indies of 2021. Well, as much of it as I can, actually. I had to skip a few because 3 minutes is really not enough to talk about 21 games. Do you see the 3-minute aggression? Do you see that theme coming up over and over again? Video was actually good, but then I turned it into a bad video because 3 minutes. What are you gonna do? Sort of rules are rules.
Our community's too talented.
But you can check the full list in detail in the From the Void channel. From the Void, all one word, if you like. Hope you guys find out about some awesome lesser-known indies, because 2021 was one of the best years ever in terms of indie releases, and we will go back to the video screen to watch it. Thanks, love, respect, From the Void,
That's
a.k.a.
probably true.
Arthur Henrique Chinaglia.
Okay, best 21 indie games of 2021. Ready? Go! Number 21, Genesis Noir. This guy shot a bullet at that girl, time stop, and this is both a murder scene and the creation of the universe. It's nuts. Number 20, Solar Ash. Cool game, cool moves, cool boss fights, and cool world to explore. Plus, Bloodworth liked it too. Number 19, Minute of Violence. There's a fungus blight going on that devours everything dead or alive. Meanwhile, you're this girl desperately trying to find a way to save the archipelago and cope with the overwhelming responsibility to do so. Great storytelling here, Minute of Violence. Number 18, Steel Assault. That's it. Micro review over. Steel Assault, go get it. Number 17, Skip, not enough time. Number 16, Wolfstride. This is a turn-based RPG with huge mechs, made by someone who is actually colorblind, and a great position-based battle system. Wolfstride is awesome. Number 15, Skip, not enough time. Number 14, Flynn Son of Crimson. Pixel art perfection. It's divided into stages with great platforming, exploration, and even better action. Plus, you mount on a godly guardian deity flying wolf creature, and it's fantastic. Number 13, The Legend of Tianding. How many games take place in 1909 Taiwan featuring the country's own version of Robin Hood but with Kung Fu? 0, that's how many. Number 12, Skip, not enough time. Number 11, Omno. This is a mesmerizing 3D puzzle platformer with the most incredible mechanisms for traversal. Just a phenomenal game with Journey vibes, great music, and made by a solo developer, God knows how. Number 10, Skip, not enough time. Number 9, Everhood. This is one of the best innovations in gameplay of 2021 for sure. It looks like a rhythm game, but it's actually not, and rather the opposite of that. Having a good sense of rhythm will not help you at all. You have to dodge the notes, dude, dodge it, by switching between lanes, jumping over the notes, and later absorbing them. Great gameplay and cool story too, Everhood. Number 8, Skip, not enough time. Number 7, Unsighted. Simply one of the best isometric games I've ever played. Number 6, Boomerang Axe. This is a must-play for first-person shooter fans. You can spam slowdowns and teleportations non-stop, and the challenge revolves around that. The game wants you to abuse those mechanisms. It's fantastic. Number 5, Skip, not enough time. Number 4, Record of Lotus War, The Little Wonder Labyrinth. This is a Symphony of the Night clone, but in the gameplay aspect, I found this even better than Symphony of the Night because of the elemental mechanism, which is straight up like Ikaruga, to put it simply. This changes everything with the possibility to replenish your life if you're playing well. It's a fantastic Metroidvania with the best boss fights in this entire list. Number 3, Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights. It's a must-play Metroidvania if you like them gothic. And I'm all out of time. To catch the rest of the list and all the details, join me in this channel. Thank you so much for watching, allies, and I'll see you soon.
Being put on there.
Oh.
Imagine the showcase was just 20-minute video after 20-minute video.
Those last two.
I know. You gotta know.
I really want to play.
You gotta, yeah.
I feel like Ender Lilies would be a good don't skip game.
Well, but you know what? Going to all of these other channels is a great thing to do after the Easy Allies Community Showcase because we're going to wrap up the showcase, but then
if you are subscribed
From the Void, Radioactive Magic, all these places.
To any mods, if anyone is subscribed on YouTube to anyone other than Easy Allies, ban them. Immediate ban.
Radioactive Magic. Hello again, allies. Brandon, pleasure as always. Here's that big episode I promised last month. And Ben, the last time you were on the couch, I showcased my very first YouTube video ever where I introduced my game design study series with my chosen topic of Pokemon. I have been annoying Jones for 6 months, can you believe it? I've released a video every month focusing on a different topic of design or aspect to the main game series. This time, battle mechanics. Although I would love for you to see everything I've created over that time, today I can only show you a 10th of this episode. Long video short, I propose an alternate way where the battle mechanics could work to eliminate a certain problem that I will point out in this part of the video. And Brandon, after 6 months, I want to take a moment to thank you for keeping the showcase going. We all super appreciate it. I love these videos. Love, respect, damn, and Radioactive Magic. Start at 310.
I can imagine a video about the Pokemon battle system would be quite long.
Yeah. Start at 310. Why did I do that?
All Pokemon have stats in the form of hit points, HP, attack, physical damage, special attack, elemental-ish damage, defense, special defense, and speed. Elements affecting these stats within a given Pokemon are individual values, IVs, effort values, EVs, and natures, introduced in Gen 3. Individual values are the stats randomly rolled within a certain range for a Pokemon when they spawn. Natures provide a 10% bonus growth to one stat and a 10% deduction to another. The combination of those two means most Pokemon you come across are rather unique. The problem with this, however, is that it becomes a way for people to disassociate them into what is ideal, preferred, or statistically perfect, and what is not worth their time. People are incentivized to simply throw away what is less powerful because they caught a Pokemon that didn't roll the stats and natures that fits perfectly for what they are after.
Correct.
Now, effort values somewhat mitigate this, but they have problems of their own. Effort values are the bonuses Pokemon receive to their stats for defeating specific other Pokemon in battle.
Whoa,
for example, defeating lots of Oddish will reward a Pokemon with extra stat points towards its special attack, in addition to what it would gain normally when it levels up.
Whoa.
These extra points can help boost whatever stat a player wants to encourage. This can give the feeling that the Pokemon are growing organically, and is the main reason a Pokemon leveling up from a low level would be more powerful than a wild one of the same level later on. The problem might be pretty obvious here, however. This system encourages grinding against whatever Pokemon would be best to fight so as to optimally level your team. When you think about it, these mechanics are a very simple and efficient way to simulate growth. It is manageable in a way that makes balancing the power scales very accessible to the designers and programmers. This was very important for a console as limiting as the Game Boy back in the 90s. Having stats and increasing numbers has existed since before Dungeons and Dragons, so it made a perfect fit back then. This issue of grinding is exactly what I want to address in this video. We've only looked at one aspect to the battle mechanics and we can already see two categories of grinding. One for catching and breeding for ideal stats, the other for battling specific enemies to control specific growth. Over time, Game Freak has provided some options to lessen these issues, but it is still a time sink no matter how you look at it. Personally, I don't believe that grinding is the soul of Pokemon's gameplay, thus I would like to remove the temptations. And yes, I am aware that some people enjoy grinding, but this is my design study, and these are the design parameters I've chosen to tackle. Don't worry, I'll leave a treat for you at the end. So, having talked about the mechanics of the Pokemon that we could revise, now let's talk about how we could revise the battle system.
Bam, 3 minutes. But don't you want to keep going? They're so good. They're long videos, but you are such a charming fella, and that you bring up just really good points. And I love...
Oh, absolutely.
One of the things that's so funny is like I'm always just so fast. Whenever I read scripts, I just read them much faster than I probably should have. So like I love the pace of what you talk. It's like I'm actually understanding this.
I feel like I said this last time, but if that guy has a YouTube channel, I would totally watch those videos.
Radioactive Magic. Radioactive Magic, I think was talking about that previously about how to find that. And when you didn't supply the link, or maybe it was in the comments or something, or got deleted, I was like, oh, well, I'm like, Radioactive Magic, and then that brought up some weird stuff on YouTube, so I went Radioactive Magic Pokemon, and that was the first one. And it's in the chat, so Radioactive Magic Pokemon is how I found it. Found the series, and then you can go to the channel. Yeah, big long series. If you wanna take the weekend and learn more. I mean, 3 minutes and both of the people on this couch learned something new about Pokemon.
No, I loved that. That was
people
great.
in chat
Very
as
well presented.
From Stephen Colbert, in January, I was able to see one of my top nostalgia brands, Anamanaguchi, during their Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, the soundtrack, the tour. Yes, that's the official name. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, the soundtrack, the tour. It was an awesome experience. They played the entire soundtrack in order, backed up with a full playthrough of the game, mixed in with panels from the comic. Beyond just promoting the re-release, the band mentioned this tour is the first time that they've played the soundtrack live. Cool. Highly recommend seeing them. They're coming to a city near you. Otherwise, there's a short video of my experience. Love, respect, Stephen.
I didn't even notice, to be honest with you.
Of course. Admittedly, I've watched videos where I was supposed to stop it, and like 5 minutes in, I'm like, I'm sorry. Whoa, gee, that was a good video. Mo Grant, hey Ben and Jones, we're back with an update on our comic book journey. We're hard at work on issue 2 of the new Luminaries and should have some new pages to show off too. Show off soon. Until then, we have exciting news. We're proud to announce that we are publishing a new series under our Lucky 33 Comics brand. Allies, please say hello to Astronaut High Schooler. When Earth City is attacked, there's only one hero who can save the day, and that's Astronaut High Schooler. The story comes from the fun and brilliant mind of our artist, Josh Harris. We can't wait to explore this world with him. Issues are available on our website. That is lucky33comics.com right now. And to celebrate the event, Josh put together this amazing promo video. Josh's Twitter is JR Harris. That's at JR Comic Arts. And his personal website is jrcomicart.com. I love a good teaser. Comic teasers, let's go.
Astronaut High Schooler joins Lucky 33.
funny. It's a great cover. Number one.
I love that it seems like the helmet is too big for her head.
Yeah.
It just makes it
It's very Daft
all the more
Punk.
charming.
It's very Daft Punk. All right.
Bringing up Daft Punk makes me sad.
Ashes of Aranea. Hey, Ben and Brandon, I've been sick for a while, and since that left me unable to work for a bit, I didn't really feel comfortable making videos, even if short and non-edited, for the showcase, when I wasn't even making videos for my employer at a regular pace. I feel better for the most part today, but still did a quickie, as I didn't want to spend too much time on it, since I have a lot of work to catch up on. I decided to finally use some of the year-old clips from my time with Monster Hunter World. There's a special quest where you can repeatedly fight Ruiner Nergigante in a cage made of solid rock that I've done somewhere around 600 times. About 99% of the stuff that I recorded on it was lost, but I did find like 10 or so clips randomly on a secondary hard drive a week ago. Picked the best ones, and here we are.
600 times.
Not sure if this classifies as nostalgia, but I'm sure it made me want to go back and kill Nergigante a few more hundred times when I'm not busy. In case someone gets confused, yes, I do have 2 characters. Gotta get all the fashion. Shout out to Pyromancer. He's the best boss I ever had. Trans rights are human rights. Love and respect. Ashes of Aranea.
Now, Jones, Ruined Nergigante harder than regular Nergigante.
How many Nergigantes are there?
There's Ruined. There's... I mean, do you count, like, Tempered, I guess? And then there's Arch-Tempered Nergigante.
There's Groggy Nergigante. There's Spurned Nergigante.
Yeah, so let's see. I think there's...
Hungover Nergigante.
I think there's 4, technically?
Ah. This is the only one I need.
Tempered doesn't count. Oh, Tempered. This arena is awesome. Yeah. The Nergigante match where it just launches and spikes.
Spike. Yeah.
Schmuck is very happy this is Lance. Best Lance
I love that. That's so pure.
There's nothing either one of us loves as much as Schmuck.
Weapon idolatry. I love it. It was fun to play Rise and the first time I ever played Logan.
You had that moment.
I just hang back here and just like.
You got a party.
Sorry, gotta go.
Yep. Gotta shoot my bow.
Shoot that. Somebody's got to. Robert Lee. No, Bo. Hey, hey, Ben and Brandon. Just been watching Man Ben, a documentary show focused on the creators of manga like Ito Junji or Daisuke Igarashi. I know how to say that name. Daisuke Igarashi. They film the artists in their workplace for a few days, and then Naoki Urasawa, the host and creator of Monster, interviews them as they watch the footage together. It's just really cool to see the sheer amount of effort that's put into not just a single page of a book or magazine. Here's another devlog. Love and respect.
Hell yeah.
Hey everybody. First, the map I showed last time, I just scrapped. I wasn't feeling it. I didn't seem connected, more of a cavalcade of random rooms with no cohesion. So I started over, and now I feel it's in a much better place. I learned a bit more about streaming in levels too. There are hitches whenever the next sublevel is streamed in the editor, but when I build the game, the hitches are either very minor or non-existent. So now I can build larger sublevels instead of hundreds of little ones. I also started working on a city layout. Here will be the NPCs that the player can buy and sell things, talk to them, and get side quests. At first it was just going to be a place to buy and sell items, but there aren't a lot of Metroidvania games that have very memorable shop areas. So I'm going to try and make this place the player will want to come back to, by filling it with interesting interactions like the Yakuza games do. I really should have been making playtests ages ago because I'm finding out, although some mechanics were perfectly by themselves, when I put them together, everything just seems to fall apart. Camera controls not working, AI is just going nuts, or the character mechanics are just glitching out. I ran into one glitch where pressing the jump button at the same time you press the charge button while pointing up, you'll just go flying up. So I had to fix that. I started to work on a new flying enemy. Right now all it does is patrol, chase the player till it gets to a certain range and then shoots. But I plan on making it a little more advanced later on. I have a bunch of what I call one-action enemies, which is just enemies that do one thing. Throw projectile, chase player, or fly across the screen. But I also have a complex AI which is meant to be placed everywhere. Like the Imp in Doom, it's meant to be so versatile it can be placed anywhere. It can patrol, chase, shoot, alert other enemies, and sense when enemy is behind it so it can crouch down and form a firing squad so both enemies can shoot at once. As well as having unique abilities that can be placed depending on the situation. But it's really inconsistent at the moment. Sometimes it just wants to shoot and not move. Other times it can move but doesn't want to shoot. And sometimes the spawner just doesn't even want to spawn them in anyway. I used a behavior tree for this AI, but I'm not good at using them, so whenever I do, they maybe work only 50% of the time. So instead of trying to salvage it, I just scrapped the AI and the spawner. I remade the AI using itself and its controller. No behavior trees this time. And I finished it. Now it's not only just more consistent, but responsive too. And the spawner is working great, and it is much easier to use. Making that old behavior tree AI and spawner took me around 2.5 months to figure out, but remaking it only took maybe 2 or 3 days. So although I was annoyed having to make these things again, it is nice to compare my understanding of the engine a year ago and where I am now. Thanks for watching.
I love that you clearly know where these enemies are going to be, and so you just like the moment they appear on the screen, you're just like, ah! But it looks fun to run around. I get Strider vibes from that for sure. I'm excited to check out more of that. Robert Lee. Hey, Brandon and Jones, hope you're doing well today. Last June, I submitted a video of me getting destroyed by the Valkyrie Queen in God of War. The score at the time was 49-2 to the Queen, but I wasn't finished. Kratos might have enjoyed getting dominated, but not me. She needed to feel my pain. After finally getting through DMC5's Bloody Palace, which I submitted to the last time Ben was on, I've been obsessed with trying to beat the Valkyrie Queen without taking any damage to even the scores.
Why?
I don't know. Why not use the image? Why not use the image when you make the jigsaw? Why take the time to beat Returnal? It's too hard. I'm just kidding. I've been upset. Here's the video of me attempting a no damage run against the Valkyrie Queen. It's over 5 minutes long. I've butchered it to meet the 3-minute rule. You see? Again?
Just a little poke.
I've also linked to the full unaltered video of the fight if anyone wants to learn from my mistakes. It's a fun fight to play, But as entertaining as watching a Floyd Mayweather fight, it's very defensive and about getting the job done, minus technical brilliance in my case. My biggest challenges in the fight? The camera's too close, and it's easy to lose sight of her. Too much on the screen when Boy uses his arrow ability makes it difficult to see her next move. Her quick lunge and punch attack. It's that lunge. That lunge has just ended me. I was like, what am I doing? I'm not going to do this. And punch attack, it's difficult to see coming. You'll see in this video. My piss-poor reflexes. I tend to dodge 5 seconds after her attacks. Controlling my nerves at crucial moments. This is on Give Me a Challenge difficulty. I'm eager to face her on Give Me God of War. The link to the full unedited video, 5 minutes, again, is in the showcase comments on Patreon. Much love and respect, Robert Lee. I'm so terrified.
Oh god. Oh god. Yeah, that lunge seems brutal. Yeah.
Oh, it's all like...
Does the Valkyrie Queen, like, obviously it takes immense skill, but do you, in addition to that, do you need, like, the best gear in the game to even stand a chance?
Seems terrifying. Nick Gothic's going to wrap it up. It's time for another vloggy, and this one's the most personal one yet. Also, it makes me happy that my big ender arse is trying a new outfit in this video, which is a new look I'm aiming to get for myself IRL. Anyway, let the video do the talking. It's about a roadblock that deeply hinders me from my talent and profession, and Nick has a cast on, because Nick has a cast in real life, and I love it so much. Take it away, Nick.
Hello, Branson. Hello, Ben. The sling is finally out. My arm isn't perfect, but the bone's healable, and I got so much of my range of motion back. I can't really go skiing till spring, though. Now, Ben, please get some pads and a helmet. I am begging you. I can't imagine how many injuries I've saved myself just by having pads on. I wore the bloody pads and still I managed to fuck my arm up. Beware of manuals, Ben. And I really can't stress the importance of being loose and flexible when you fall. I don't think I'm stiffing my arms ever again. Well now, since I gotta wait for so long until I'm fit to skate, I'm gonna return to my favourite pastime and practice drawing smut.
Here we go.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Alright, so I'm a comic artist and I love drawing. It's my calling in life. And yet, I find it so impossible and so shameful for me to draw nude bodies or sexual subjects, even though I really sincerely want to. I can't draw breasts, butts, vulvas or penises at all. I just freeze. I freeze because the feeling of responsibility is just so great, and I'm just afraid of what people are going to think of me if I do draw it. I did post some lewd arts on the showcase before which I've censored, but honestly, even without the censors, they're not really something I would call explicit. I still think it's a minor miracle I was able to draw those. This lifelong sexual shame prevents me from even practicing, and it harms what is my professional vocation and duty. Aren't artists supposed to be guided by subconscious desires and instincts, intuition? Shouldn't they be guided by what's natural, and shouldn't they be able to challenge? Why is this so hard for me?
Because art's hard.
I'm 29 and still a virgin, even though I see myself as a deeply sexual being. And that's something I was never encouraged to be. Both my family and my country are really sexually conservative, and I was always so afraid that I would scare women off, be branded as a creep or whatever, and that it's so shameful to be attracted to women to desire sex. I have a beautiful young body, and I feel like it's just decaying, wasting. And I can't imagine what kind of pleasure I'm being denied, that melting touch of skin, that bursting weight of a body, orgasms. And I don't know how other people do it. I just feel this immense bitterness and resentment at everyone who is having fun and celebrating their sexuality while I was only punished for it. No woman ever wanted me, and I just don't understand why. What's wrong with me? Am I too nerdy? Do I not have the right manners? Am I pretty enough? Isn't my ass big enough? People say I have so many qualities, but I just don't see what good that ever brought me. Instead, all I'm left with is an empty flat, a broken arm, no family, and a dead mum. And if something doesn't change soon, I just can't imagine how much suffering and darkness and decay I'll be in for. And there's only so much I can do to keep afloat by seeing myself in the mirror and going all, "Hey, is that good-looking cunt over there?" I'm really sorry for spreading negative energies again. Don't fash yourself, I promise I'll be alright. No matter what, my professional duty is to learn how to draw sexual content, so I need to force myself to practice. It's so hard. But if you'd like to help, my site is nickgothic.com. I do commissions. If any one of you would like to suggest a not safe for work commission, go there and write me an email. That way I'll have no excuse and I'll be forced to practice. Or you can ask for safe commissions, which is totally fine as well. Either way, this is the most personal I've ever been on the showcase, and if you've made it this far, I thank you. You and the chat are all kind souls who've been there for me at my most vulnerable, and I appreciate everything you say for me. Love and respect.
Love and respect.
That's tough. Yeah, creatively it's really tough. But you say you're like having these impulses, but then you're like, what do I do with them? It's like that's sadly that's like when art gets good. You know, it's like I'm working on a story right now, and I'll like tell something to Amanda, and she's like, ooh, you got to do your research on that one. That's a little rough. And it's like her saying ooh is like, well, now I have to do it. You know, it's like now I gotta dive right, because that's not like you want that as a writer. You want that. What's the subject matter of your book? Oh, you know, it's like yes, here we go. Doesn't mean I'll do it right, but that's when art gets really exciting. It's when you write the 3.0 out of 10 reviews when you really get to stretch yourself as a writer. You know what I mean?
The hardest ones are like the 6s, I feel like. Because if I truly like hate something, I can go, and it's when you're like mixed.
That's 6 or 6.5. I get Crackdown 3, man. I made some enemies in our community. So you know what I bet? The relationship part is tough. I had a friend of mine who broke up with a guy she was dating, and then was single for like 6 years, and she was dating all these weird people, and she would jokingly send us date app pictures, and Man and I would laugh at it, and we were just like, we are pulling for you. You know, you're just meeting all these weird dudes. And she is now going to be married in 2 months. And the guy that she's marrying was previously married, has 2 kids. And so now she was like jealous of Amanda and I like having a kid. And, you know, we just have a great family life. And she's just like, I really want a family. And now she's got 2 kids. He was like, whoop, now I automatically have kids. So it's like, it's so tough to tell somebody who's having relationship troubles, because you're like, I'm in a relationship. I can't solve those for you. But the struggles you're having with sexuality and art, it's like it's gotta be all over the place. There's got to be people you can, you know, that work on that art. Maybe find like nude art that you like, and like maybe reach out to that, you know, the person who does it, and be like, hey, I like this and I have trouble doing it. If you ever want to talk about that, blah blah blah. But like, see if there are maybe communities that you can, you know, not a community that I have explored before, but I can just imagine what you're saying is not that unusual. Like, you are obviously unique, but there's got to be people that are going through the same thing that you're going. But it probably feels like there's not at the time. That's got to be very tough. But it's like, that's the showcase. The showcase is like a whole month. This is January. Blah, it was done. Some people still need to wrap up their goatees, but we did it. We gathered. You can take those headphones off, because unless RF corrects me.
It was so nice. Like, just after that video chat was, like, lighting up, offering support, you know. And that's what we love to see. That makes me proud.
Because all we talk about when I check in with patrons, it's all about like the game of the year 2006 or something we did, like something happened this month that you probably missed because all of your allies are running around playing games or working on content. It's just so nice to know, like, this happened in our community, this happened in my life, this happened in my state, in my city, in my country. A lot of you, English is not your first language, and so it's just like getting these giant Alexander Zurianov just being like, I can speak Russian and I'm doing this, you know, every month talking about Apex Legends characters, and it's so cool. It's such a nice to get a slice of life around the world. I think Bloodworth is next. I think I did it next month. Showcase. Bam. Daniel Bloodworth.
Daniel Bloodworth
is the no. Wait. Yeah, Daniel Bloodworth is March. Michael Huber is April, if all goes well. But Daniel Bloodworth will be March. That'll be our anniversary month. So stay tuned if you want to get your Daniel Bloodworth posts ready and your Michael Huber posts double ready. But you never know with that Michael Huber. He's a dodgy fella. You know who's not and was here hours before I got here because he showed up on time. Ben Moore.
You know,
thank you for your backup today, Ben.
It ended up working out okay. I got to play some stuff.
Play some Arceus, got caught up a little bit. Arceus is on my Switch. I got to boot it up. I got to finish Horizon first. Thank you to everyone that is at our $10 tier. Thank you to our mods. Sir Lauren Crew jumped in with where we were doing this. Thank you to everybody that showed up and everybody who's talked about all of this stuff. Again, this is our $10 tier, patreon.com/easyallies. I'm going to do it right now. Watch me go. I'm going to go to the post on Patreon, and I'm going to... No! Why are you making me log in again? Never mind. I'm going to do it on the PC after we're done. I'm going to make it public so that everybody can see all of these wonderful things. You can go to Happy Gaming's channel. You can go to Radioactive Magic's channel. You can see the other tunes that Kevin Gillet and Kieran Little have made. You can, if that Jason Sackle comment hit you in the right way, you're like, I really enjoyed that comment. There are many more like it that you can go back and watch. You want to know what Sackle thinks about Picross? Picross always seems to come up. But that'll be public after this stream, so if you can go check that out. Patreon.com/easyallies. Community Showcase is one of our tabs on the top. Click that. You'll see all the showcases we have ever done. Those showcases exist because of the wonderfully creative community here at Patreon.com/easyallies. This showcase episode today existed because of Ben Moore, everybody. Ben Moore showing up to watch the cat videos, to talk about manga, and to listen.
It's the only reason I'm here, really.
To watch the highlights from Metroid Prime and Monster Hunter. Twist your arm, right?
Yep. Twist my arm.
We are Easy Allies. That's our community showcase. We'll be back next month, and there's other fun stuff happening this week. Thanks for your patience, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.